Hey guys, welcome back to our winner finals for the Vietnamese regional qualifiers, Female Esports League, League of Legends edition. It's been a long day, I'm not
Mm-hmm.
gonna lie. We are towards the last leg now. It's a best of three, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Before this, it was a BO1 double elim format, but now that we are at the finals, best of three, winner take all.
Exactly. It is going to be V Gaming over on the blue side facing off against EVOS Valkyrie, who I'm sure has got to be as tired as us, if not even more tired, because they're the ones who
Yeah.
have been playing the entire day. They did lose, I think, in their second game, dropped down to the lower bracket, and then had to fight their way back up, had to go through
Oh
the
yeah.
gauntlet right there. They played against Phoenix, won that match, played against Iris, which we just saw, and won that game as well. So I'm not sure that, at this point, are you running out of steam or are you set to
Yeah.
steamroll your
This is
opponents?
like the redemption arc in like an anime drama
The
where, yeah,
Bankai, the pre Bankai.
invited to the first FSL elite and like, okay, up with the big boys and then big girls, right? And then they lose the qualifiers for the second one. Like that's the point where you start the training montage, and
Mm-hmm.
the past season has been the training montage, and now they're back at it again. They're like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, we're gonna qualify this time. This is like the moment we get our redemption, and we'll see if they can make it though, because their opponents are pretty tough.
Yeah, I mean they've come out of that cryo chamber. They've beat the ghosts
Yeah,
of their past in Iris Gaming, who were the
literally every.
reigning FSL
Mhm.
elite champions and were their past rivals
Yeah.
in the last season, and now they finally made it here. And V Gaming, the thing is, we saw them earlier in the day in their game versus Iris Gaming, and they made pretty short work of
Oh yeah.
Iris Gaming actually. So the fact that EVOS were struggling a bit in their last game versus Iris Gaming, I'm not sure if that's really the benchmark they were going to use to really feel out both these teams.
Looking at the draft right now, I just want to comment on something. You can see that EVOS Valkyrie is sticking to what they know best, which is to play that wombo combo composition. We will confirm this, yeah, with the Oriana being banned out, because that would have been the next natural mid lane of choice for EVOS Valkyrie to tie this composition in. Another thing to point out is that Silka did get the Varus again, so this is going to be slightly dangerous. She was extremely proficient with the champion earlier, allowing, or rather carrying her team into the next stages of the tournament. So I want to keep my eyes peeled on this Varus for Silka, as well as the way that this composition is going to look to deal with that particular priority target.
Oh my god, I'm so excited for that Malphite lock in.
Mm.
EVOS held that in well because they went for the J4 and Lulu, both acceptable picks, especially for the MF on this patch. You're like,
Mm.
okay, I believe it. And then that Malphite pickup that I think no one was expecting.
It's
They've got the knockup, they've got the Lulu, they've got the J4. They really have a composition that can enable Lycro over in the top side on the Malphite. So I'm really excited to see if they can pull this off. Also, the thing is, if they do make it as the Vietnamese qualifiers
mhm.
into this season's FSL Elite, the good thing about the Vietnam qualifiers being the very first server to play is that they've actually got 2 months
Oh yeah.
to practice with this roster before the showdown in Singapore in March.
Okay, okay. They're hovering the brand. This should be a troll pick, because if they lock it in, it will mean that it's gonna be the Camille in the jungle. Hold on, Sona. Camille in the jungle, Fiddlesticks. I am so confused at this point. It's Fiddlesticks jungle, right? Camille top lane.
Yep, and it's got wow,
Yep.
Lux mid with
Throwback.
the Verisona.
Very much a big throwback. So we get Nico in the form of the final piece in this wombo combo composition. EVOS Valkyrie sticking to what they know, whereas V Gaming, I feel like they're experimenting a bit. Is that the best way to put it? Trying to
Mm,
innovate.
well, we're not sure what they play in scrims. We're not sure what
Hmm.
they're used to playing over in solo queue. I mean, it's Min. I think she probably plays a pretty decent Camille.
Yeah.
Probably used to playing that wrecking face in solo queue as well. Fiddlesticks jungle. I mean, it does come back every so often. It is a thing. A bit more troll, a bit more niche. You think
Yeah.
like the Shaco jungle players, that sort of thing. But the thing about Fiddlesticks essentially is that it opens up a lot of very creative pathing in the jungle, especially post that level 6 mark. Also with your W, you have a very good sustain. The thing is, you're just kind of weak all around. You don't have that lockdown CC. You're not really the best choice for your team. You don't really provide that much utility.
It's also quite bad if you get caught out in the jungle and you've
Exactly.
used
You're
your fear,
squishy.
right? Yeah. So, for example, if you fear J4 away and then you start your life drain,
Mm-hmm.
Jarvan the Fourth can actually knock you up with the Flag and Drag and then take the duel from then on. And
Mm-hmm.
if this is a Conqueror Jarvan, it's going to be even worse after that.
Yeah,
right?
the
So,
thing with the Fiddlesticks jungle is that you pretty much lose every single 1v1.
Mm.
Every 1v1 out there, you lose it.
unless they don't have some way to disrupt the life drain,
Mhm.
overall it's still a pretty bad matchup against most junglers.
Mm-hmm.
I can only think of maybe one or two that you have a decent time with, and even then, those are kind of like meh anyways. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, but I mean, they've got the Lux as well as the Camille, which it does play the role instead of that type of utility lockdown that you would be wanting from your jungler instead. So it's not all that bad. They've also got Verisona. Pretty much every single champion, except for the Fiddlesticks, has something to contribute to the team.
I do see the value of the Camille Fiddlesticks wombo combo in the back line, because if you can find a flank of the Fiddlesticks, Crow Storm into Hextech Ultimatum, you actually do decimate the backline pretty heavily. There's like almost nothing that can cancel the fully channeled Crow Storm, even if you get
Mhm.
polymorphed, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think this game is pretty much going to be whether Fiddlesticks can pull it off or not. Because Fiddlesticks as a jungle is such a ballsy pick.
Mhm.
It's pretty much you're going all in on this, saying like you're either useless or you're god,
Yeah.
right, in this game. Because when you look at the red side team and you have champions such as the MF, also the Malphite, Jarvan as well, they're all champions that really need to position very well. Before the fights, you kind of are always going to be in the flank. As MF, you're going to be in the back.
Mhm.
If Fiddlesticks gets that jump on you first, that's just your team fight loss for the MF team because you suddenly got no AD carry.
Yeah, so one thing along those lines it's super important to have is the vision, right? You can't be face checking to Fiddlesticks, you can't be face checking to Lux.
Yep.
We've all seen that montage. You know which I'm talking about, right? That classic montage. You get hit by the light binding, boom. It's the full combo and you're just like, well, I don't even
Yep.
want to play this game anymore.
Yep.
So with all those things in mind, you do want to have the priority in terms of vision, and it's going to be super important for not just mid to have control, but also jungle, right? I think EVOS Valkyrie hasn't really impressed me in terms of their mid jungle synergy, as opposed to something like the newly defeated Iris Gaming, whereas their mid jungle was super strong.
Yep.
So this is something that they're gonna have to take note of and be extremely careful about how they control vision around certain key choke points, especially.
Mhm. Yeah, but I mean, towards the end of one of those EVOS games, it really did look like Coraline and Kamiho were on fire
Mhm.
with the Oriana, with the MF combo. So we're expecting some pretty good things, I'd say, this game. Also, the cheeky thing about the Nico passive is that because you have a Malphite on your team, so there's always that extra added pressure.
Oh, yeah.
You're thinking, wait, is it Malphite on the map? So there's
Yes.
that slight little pressure
I
that
think
is going to be added.
the Nico here is kind of tricky, like you
Mhm.
mentioned. They're always gonna be so afraid of who's actually.
Yeah, is it the Malphite or is it the Lulu? Because she's got very good
Yeah.
options, and they might get the enemy team
Mhm.
might get the jump on them, thinking it's a Lulu, but nope, it was the Malphite. Nope.
So it's pretty clear what the sort of win condition is, or how
Mhm.
they're going to be approaching these fights. As EVOS Valkyrie is, it's going to be a huge wombo combo composition. Very big one item spikes on both the Nico as well as the Misfortune when it comes to taking these team fights. So we're going to be looking for that. And on the other side, though, I think the 1-4 is actually pretty beneficial for them if they can play it out. They don't really have any tanks though, so that's the tricky part.
Yep, no takes. Pretty much your largest front line is going to be the Camille, which isn't
Yeah.
quite ideal.
Fiddlesticks with Zonias, I don't know, maybe
To start off the fight, Flash, Sonya, Crescendo.
that could work. But
Varus
if you
R
miss,
as
then
well.
you're just
yeah,
a Sona.
if you miss, I think that what the V Gaming plan is pretty much hope that Lux lands at Q and then boom, suddenly everyone's all in, and
Yeah,
then suddenly
maybe.
the Varus is in with the R, Sona's in with Crescendo, and Camille just goes in for the gap close. Looks like that might be the plan.
Very
No.
defensive spread from both teams this time. It's like it's the finals, guys. You can't mess around. Everyone spread out.
Yeah.
BO3.
Yep, that is the difference between best of 1 and best of 3.
Right now, no team is still. Neither team rather is being 2 and C are moving forward. Oh man. Jack-o'-lantern Fiddlesticks. The
I
best
love
skin.
the skin, and I have like 3 other Fiddlestick skins, but I haven't gotten
Why
this
do you
one
have so
because
many-
it's you like open chest or like
Oh,
people give
yeah,
you
yeah.
mystery skins and stuff.
Who are these people you
I'm
speak
not
of?
giving you this. Don't even try.
If you guys PM Jenny on the SGMY
Why are you
Klein. She
telling
will send you skins.
them my
Yeah.
real name. It's Ray Richo. That's my IGN in game.
That's right. Go and PM her.
No, sometimes. I do monthly giveaways
Oh, yeah.
for the Garena League partner skins.
Oh yeah, I remember you gave
Yeah.
me that the Amumu.
Was it a Mumu?
Yeah, it was a Mumu, Inferno Amumu.
Yeah,
right?
I'm running a giveaway right now for 9 skins
What's
over
the-
on my
What's the
3 Winter Wonder Nico, 3 Divine Sword Irelia, and 3 Dark
Two
Star Shaper.
device.
Wow, talk about thick skin.
Yay!
Wow.
Alright, so Fiddlesticks here starting on the red buff. We'll be moving over to Raptors. Meanwhile, Sin on the Jarvan did a 2 clear over to the red. So she's going to get a level 3, whereas Fiddlesticks will be stuck at level 2. No mana. That's going to hurt.
Oh,
Good
nice
trade, yeah.
combo over at the level 2 from Lux. See, as Lux, why even skill W? W doesn't do damage.
I mean, the shield is pretty good.
It is, especially with your AP. But there's Lulu gonna hide out in that alcove. Alright, the thing about the versus the Sona lane is that Sona has sustain, as Lulu you don't. You just purely have the shield. Although if you want to use the W for a sustain, as you can see early at the level 2, it does drain a lot of mana. And it's really not the most cost effective in terms of mana for
There you
health
go.
at all. Early gain coming out from Jarvan.
Oh, not landing the flag and drag is gonna hurt, but meanwhile, light binding on the response is pretty good. Ping, though, has to be careful about her health. The flash in, and the passive gives her the kill, and Coraline, calculated, quick maths, gets the first blood.
Meanwhile, bottom side MF as well, looking to get the kill with the Q, but not quite enough damage from right here. Nico in a bit of trouble,
Man!
but picks up the kill onto the Fiddlesticks in the end. Nicely done.
Coraline is popping off. The new acquisition for EVOS Valkyrie is just making waves for her team right now. If they proceed on to be the representatives, you're gonna have to look back and say, well, Mia, also known as Coraline, was such a huge part in their victory.
Yeah, she's she's the Zoe.
Yes, she's
one
the Zoe
trick.
one trick.
I mean, Zoe, Nico, a lot of similarities in terms of playstyle. I mean, when she picked Nico, we were kind of thinking,
Yeah.
she's gonna do well.
If you guys are curious about where I got this information, I actually put it on my Twitter later, so you can like check out the article. Although it is in Vietnamese, so you're gonna have to translate it a little.
Like, follow, and subscribe to Hungry Gas
No,
on
no,
Twitter.
it's okay. Yeah, you don't need to follow me. I'm pretty like quiet on social media, so I don't really care. But if you guys want extra information, by all means, you know.
If you guys are looking to follow one of the two of us.
Your social media game is pretty good, so I'm not gonna help you
Yeah,
boost that.
I
right?
tweeted about us casting the Vietnamese qualifiers today, and you saw my tweet. Instead of tweeting your own tweet, you just retweeted me. Like, how lazy can you get? But I am thankful for the retweets.
That's what's
Wait
up.
a minute.
That's
Wait
what's
a
up.
minute.
This guy is casting with me tomorrow, but I mean, a couple of pretty like famous people did retweet that as well. I think.
Or like
Yeah.
it, yeah, Cap Flowers. And he liked it at like 4 in the morning LA time.
Wow.
Because I DM'd him after. I was like, can you go to sleep? And he was like, I'm just being supportive of my friends. Or I was like, thank you, Cap.
Nice,
Thank
nice.
you.
Wonder what the dragon that's spawning is gonna be. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, double buffs makes Ping's life very, very tough. It's gonna be Ocean Dragon, 5 minutes on the Rift.
I feel like Ping probably makes Ping's life very tough.
Yes, you are correct.
It's been a long
Yeah,
day.
it's been a long day.
Nico on the ward. Alright. Pretty even game so far. Actually, very even in terms of CS. However, EVOS Valkyrie is up ahead about 1,000 gold because of the first blood as well as the 2 extra kills. But just pure creep score, it's pretty even. Coraline's about almost a wave up off of the Lux.
But you can see Lux is kind of forced to go for double Durants to like keep relative in this matchup. Whereas for Coraline, she's moving towards the double Amp Tomb already, which should lead into Lost Chapter, I believe. But meanwhile, Ocean Dragon smited away by Xin, so she's gonna get that buff for her team. The passive regeneration, of course, is very good when you are in the laning phase, so as early as you can get the Ocean Dragon is best.
Malphite over on the top side, close to hitting the level 6 mark. Also does have the teleport. I think level 6 is really the big spike for the side of EVOS Valkyrie, where a lot of their key ultimates like Cataclysm, Malphite, as well as the bullet time
Yeah.
from MF do come online. So we are expecting a pretty good fight once they all hit level 6.
We did say this earlier about how this composition, very wombo combo-ish,
Mhm.
relies on hitting level 6 press R. So not only are the, oh hold on, light binding coming through, not really hitting line, but the flash is gonna guarantee it. But can she get out of range? No, it's a shutdown coming through. Meanwhile, Liho arriving, getting feared up. She doesn't want to be here, uses the unstoppable force, but now she's locked inside this pit with them. It's gonna be a double for Min. The reply coming through from the top laner of V Gaming saying it's not gonna be so easy to take us out.
Yeah, that was not the best decision, I think, from the side of EVOS Valkyrie. Might have been better just letting Coraline die and then letting Sleeping Dogs lie. Letting V Gaming, you know, get some more chip damage onto the mid-side tier 1 instead of expending both teleport as well as that Malphite ultimate. Over in the mid lane, I mean, you're thinking maybe when bot side hits level 6, might have been better to keep the Malphite ultimate for bots level 6.
Yeah, I think the problem was the commitment on the teleport. They went a bit too early there, so of course, you can't cancel anymore. It's been like that for a couple of patches and a couple of years now. Blue buff will be donated over to Coraline. She's going for the Proto Belt build, in fact, so this is an interesting adaptation. You would expect to see the Luden's Echo. Proto Belt is more normally seen when you have the Inspiration Tree.
Yeah, I think probably because, I mean, Malphite does have the R in, but then Endraven does have the Flag and Drag, but I think what Coraline is thinking is like, you know, as an individual, I mean, she just wants to go forward. She just wants to play like
back,
Diana. You know? Back, that's a good one.
Proto Belt, extra mobility. It can't go backwards or so, you know?
Like, what is this bug?
Why am I moving away from my enemies? I don't
Exactly, I
understand.
don't get it. Pause. Let me pause this game. Like, ref, what happened? Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it, man. The day Coraline uses Protobell backwards. Fiddlesticks?
Set up, yeah.
Yeah, trying to set it up right now. Has blue buff, has the ultimate. The Crowstorm would be the first crucial ultimate to lay it down. Looks like he might want to go for Shelly instead. We've seen a lot of good priority being put down on Shelly this entire day. I think the enemies qualifiers, the teams really have a very good hold on taking Shelly, especially early on in the game, and converting that into early towers. But right here, Sin just waiting for Killer T and Min to leash Shelly and trying to go for that sneaky steal. It looks like everyone is going to back off for now.
And they even showed that Lulu was walking up, so this is dangerous. Like, there's no way you take a 4v3 in that situation, especially because Wild Growth is up now for the support. So of course you back off. Bit of time wasted, but safety guaranteed in that respect.
Yeah, and I mean, whenever you think of roaming support, you think that it's a bit of time wasted, but then it's kind of negated by the fact that when you leave your AD carry alone, if your AD carry plays safe enough, she's going to get double the experience because you're not sharing the lane experience with your, you know, burden support. I mean, why do supports even need experience? I mean, come on, just get out of lane and let me hit 6 faster.
You just upset close to
1/5 of the population. 1/5
Let's be
of
real,
the
it's
player
like slightly
base.
less than that.
It's like maybe 7% of the player base.
Crowstorm into the mid lane, Killer T not finding the target. Meanwhile, Counter Pop Blossom though will force the flash out in response. And that is how you establish your dominance in the mid lane. You jump in. Nah, man, I jump you.
Yeah, Flash R as well from that Nico. Alright, Lulu now back again into the bottom lane. Whenever I see like a bot duo not use the same skins, I think like they must have had a fight or something. Like there's Star Guardian Lulu and there's no Star Guardian MF.
Our frame rate just dropped quite a lot,
Yeah.
hilariously, so.
We're gonna hopefully try and get that fixed.
Yeah.
For you guys as soon as we can. We just saw Varus going wide with the Q. That's the thing with Varus. If you're playing Varus as an ADC, you really do need to land those Qs, especially the max range when you charge it up as well, because that's pretty much the most crucial part of your poke damage while you are in lane.
There we go. Bless.
Bless the HD. I mean, it's 2020. None of this 360p.
Bit of a lull state coming in. We are waiting for the first core items on the side of EVOS Valkyrie so that they can pull the trigger. It's not to say we haven't seen them play super aggressively just yet, because Coraline so far has been quite scary in the mid lane.
Oh, yeah. And she does have the Protobell as well as the stopwatch and her ultimate backup as well. So kind of expecting the next skirmish over in the mid lane to be explosive, might be the word, as Sona getting some damage down with her.
We heard some crescendos in the bot side. Flash and Cleanse was used. The very low health bars already. I think Lulu's going to be falling on the bot half, as you can see. Ping's already in. Teleport coming in. Here comes the Pop Blossom. It might just be so crucial. They find the first kill, but the Crow Storm has been channeled, and this is going to be a slaughter on the side of VG. They might get multiple kills here as the reinforcements come in. It's going to be a double before she falls at the end of it all. I believe that the ones that come out ahead is going to be EVS.
Oh, Silka, that was so close. Nearly got the kill onto the Nico. Well, it doesn't matter. Yep, because Lux is going to be able to pick up the shutdown onto Caroline finally. So picks up that nice chunk of gold. It goes over to Lux instead of Silka, but Silka played that out as best as she could. Just had very good target selection, even though she was 1v3. Managed to kill Kamiho, nearly got the double onto Caroline as well, but got baited by the stopwatch right there. It was just one more A, and she would have made it a double. But good play regardless from Silka.
Should be noted that the mid lane turret might fall on the next push, and there's a window right now for Inferno Dragon to be taken. So
yeah, Sin choosing actually not to go for the first blood tower goal, choosing instead to try and get some priority over this mid lane, because there's a lot of pings, a lot of action going down around here bot side.
I think if you take the first blood mid lane as Jarvan, then you get all the gold. You kind of want to give it over to
exactly.
Caroline
You want to
as well,
let
right?
Caroline. Caroline's probably like, don't even think
Please,
about
please,
it, buddy. Oh yeah, please. That's the word that people say when they want something. That's the one.
Starting up Inferno Dragon though might be a bit tricky, because both these top laners have teleport. Might just make this an unfair fight, whoever pulls the trigger first. We both know the impact of the teleport Malphite with Unstoppable Force.
With Flash as well.
And this is AP Malphite, right? Don't get me wrong. Like, Malphite in general is scary, but AP Malphite with Unstoppable Force is scarier.
Malphite went Dark Seal too. What a Chad build.
Super Chad.
It's going for the Luden's Echo Dark Seal as his first buys. We love to see it.
I approve. 100% approve.
Like last game, we saw Laiho playing the Tristana, and we kind of saw like her struggle a bit in the early game, just in terms of not quite, I think, being used to going for that utility.
Pop Blossom used, they did kill Killer TT. Meanwhile, the Flash Cataclysm will find two members. Here comes the Unstoppable Force and the bullet time. My goodness, the wombo combo double kill for the mid laner. The only person left alive having to flash away is Ping right now. That was a work of art coming through from EVOS Valkyrie right now. If you're Iris Gaming, start taking notes.
Whew, and EVOS Valkyrie converting that into a very easy Inferno Dragon for their side. Absolutely zero chance of a steal. Lux, no ultimate, no E, just ran off. Tail between the legs for members of the squad down. EVOS Valkyrie firmly in the lead right now, about 2,000 gold up at the 15-minute mark. But I think most of that gold's got to be on Coraline right now. She's 6-2-2, about 15 CS up off of the Lux by far and ahead the strongest member of her team.
Oh, finishing the second core item on that base is Coraline getting the Zhonya's Hourglass.
With
so it's
the
good.
boots. She's like one entire core item up over MF. And they're on the same winning team. That's actually nuts.
Has to do with a lot of the gold being funneled away, and a bit more might arrive with the destruction of the mid-tier 1.
It's a bit tricky though, so there, as you can see, she actually landed a very good snare onto the Lux, which is kind of...
Storm onto the Malphite, flashing away though, but the full-on flash coming through from mid.
Nice. That's the thing about Malphite. If you don't have your unstoppable force up, you're actually really susceptible to ganks because you're essentially your glass cannon Malphite.
Oh, yeah.
That's what this build is. And yep, just no vision over in the top side. Tribush on the side of EVOS just means that they're going to lose Laiho very easily. Might even lose the top side tier 1 tower as well. Yep, and that's the thing between... Oh, that's such a nice timing for the... Alright, that's the thing with the Lux and the Nico matchup. Pretty much, you want to be the one who lands the snare first. As Nico, the thing is, you really don't want to go...
Oh, landing the Pop Blossom, a lot of damage already, and here comes the counter stopwatch, but Cataclysm should guarantee that this kill goes the way of EVOS Valkyrie. Meanwhile, pings onto the mid lane. No mana on Coraline, having to back away. Here comes the Sona as well. I think Coraline is a bit past enemy lines here. I'm not an expert by any means, but she's a little dead here.
That flash fear crow into W from the Fiddlesticks, that's just so much annoying CC. That's the most annoying CC in the game. Pretty much all of the same champion. What a tilter.
I think Flash Fear is my most hated.
And then he throws the E, and then it bounces off of your teammates as well, and he just stands there and W's you while you're slowly walking away from him.
Probably the most annoying point and click CC in this game.
Yep. MF right now, hiding in their little alcove. Lulu hiding in the bush. They do have the pink ward right there. Sona looks like she's not sure. Oh no!
They check this crescendo down, but here comes the bullet time flash away from now. Suka actually doing a lot of damage. She's chasing in. She's got the flash. She already found the first kill on the Lulu. Now she's looking for the second, and the teleport's coming in. Here comes the Pop Blossom. Not finding its target though, so there is still some time. But Suka will eventually die. And here comes Lux getting knocked up by the unstoppable force, running away. Coraline barely living, but will eventually die to the ignite coming through from Windra. And everyone on the side of EVOS Valkyrie just deciding to pile up in the bot lane and find all the kills that they want.
What am I watching? And also, Sin didn't get an assist. All that time wasted on the Jarvan, and they didn't even give her an assist. But what a good turnaround from the side of V-Gaming. It looked like Kamiho as well as Lulu were setting up Solar and just trying to catch out the Sona. But the second they did, I mean, that's the sort of a presence of mind that Suka has. You know that your support is squishy, and once they got the jump onto Sona, you saw Suka's instant R response to lock down Lulu. Lulu was forced to use Wild Growth on herself instead of the MF, and there just ultimately wasn't enough damage to take down the bot side of VJ until the rest of EVOS showed up.
The whole party arrived, and like at that point you kind of just admit defeat. They have 5, we have 3, it's cool, it's fine.
Yeah, you know, we'll try again later, boys. We'll just hit back to base the quick way gray screen.
A lot of things down this Rift Herald though, don't know if they can get it. Here comes the Pop Blossom, but a great life binding is going to stop them in their tracks. Now the focus is going to be the Jarvan, who should be going down here, and meanwhile Crowstorm on the back line, turning this fight around. We don't have bullet time just yet. Kamiho looking for a position to get in there, and there you go, finally popping the bullet time, but it's a little too late. Everyone else from the side of EVOS Valkyrie looking to disengage, but the Wild Growth keeps it alive. Lulu's still up for the next fight. They lose Killer T, but they will get the Jarvan as well as the Malphite in response. The light binding from Ping is excellent on that front.
That was a bit of a bewildering Wild Growth. It seemed like if Lux's E was going to get the kill on her, then that Wild Growth was late. So a bit of a bewildering choice of R. But I mean, I think Lulu's R at max CD is something like 56 seconds or so. So it's not going to make that much of a difference. You can see it's actually close to half off of cooldown already.
Speaking about outs, interesting that they did get the Cloud Drake there. So now the final Spark is on a much lower cooldown, and so is the Chains of Corruption and Crescendo. Just all in all, a great dragon to have if you're playing against this Mumbo combo composition, because now you have windows of opportunity that you can exploit when their ultimates are down and yours are up.
Lulu just trying to clear a lot of vision over here in the top side. We are at the 20-minute 40-second mark, which means that Baron is now live, but would be way too early for either team to really contest it. They really just want to get some good vision down to see if the other team is going to contest that one first. And right now, Ping as well as Fiddle Gonna be clearing vision of their own, and that's really been the name of the game, I think, for this entire tournament. We've seen these teams have such good vision control. Start off with Iris Girls every single game. The first 8 to 10 minutes had so many good wards. We're able to suss out where the enemy jungler was at most points in time, and that's just a very good thing to see at this level of play.
The basics and the fundamentals are still there. That's what you come to expect, right? The ability to control vision and divert your attention and pressure wherever needed. I need to start sending Malphite to the bot lane. There you go, to deal with the push coming in from Camille. Min is starting to get to a point where it's going to be tricky for Leo to deal with. Chains of Corruption not landing though. Thankfully the movement speed from Kamiho got her out of that one. It's one of the bonuses from the Misfortune passive.
Yep, here comes Sona for a bit more. Added back up some question mark pings. They're not really too sure where Lulu and where the rest of the EVOS team now are. Once again, clearing out Moas, just wards everywhere around the river. I think EVOS do know that Fiddlesticks is over in the top side, however.
Gonna get caught out here, but instead it's the Sona that's doing the catching. And I was about to chime in about how it's kind of difficult for this Wombo combo composition to really find anything because there are no objectives being contested right now, right? So you don't see VG grouping up for no reason. And just as I say that, Cataclysm is going to catch a single member. Pop Blossom, though, great use and great positioning in the center of it all. And they will find the shutdown onto the Varus as well as the Sona. And this should very well be the Baron being taken. The Camille is still on the bottom half of the map. Lux is getting zoned away by Coraline. So I don't think there's going to be any opposition coming in to contest this unless the Crow Storm as well as the Smite from Killer T can save the day. We'll have to see though.
Lux already used the final spark, so is it going to be able to try and use that one to snipe? Oh, here comes Fade.
Coming in, trying to get this kill onto the Jarvan. It's more than enough now. They can turn to secure this, but Killer T is going to fall inside the base. Everyone moves over to finish off the mid laner, and guess what? Baron will be secured by EVOS Valkyrie in the end.
Whew. And that was clean from the side of EVOS Valkyrie's start of that fight. I mean, Sin with the Coraline's Nico, that combination, you're saying the Cataclysm, catching out Silka in the back line, right past the Sona as well, just getting the jump onto the entire VGA team, making sure he caught out the AD carry, and then the instant follow-up from Coraline right there to pop Blossom into the backline, catching 3 numbers out with the ultimate. It's just clean play.
Extremely dangerous when they put their effort together. And right now with the Baron buff, it's their reward. Easy as you like, they will be able to push into the bases. "24 minutes in, the goal lead is 5,000 in favor of EVOS Valkyrie."
Yep, tower score pretty even. Right now, red buff gonna be handed over to Silka on the Varus. Meanwhile, Coraline's just casually picking up the top side tier 1 tower finally after 24 minutes of play. The rest of the EVOS team look to be clearing out vision over around the river right now. Want to clear out the mid, keep mid pushed. Dragon not up just yet, but will be spawning soon. Both teams just, you can see, kind of just posturing and wanting to get good position, but not really wanting to make too risky of a move just yet.
Neither team really wants to commit because the moment they do, there is enough threat on the other side to kind of make it an issue. Right now you can see like this, right? Sona commits in, gets caught out, bullet time almost finishes her off.
Oh!
Crescendo will find 2 here as the Crow Storm counter engages on top of Jarvan. Now Silka gonna get the kill on top of Xin. Everyone else from EVOS Valkyrie a bit scrambled. There is no Nico here, so there is no Pop Blossom. Can they really do anything off this fight? They will lose the Lux, and meanwhile chasing down and finishing off the kills are the members of VG. Not sure why they chose that fight because Coraline was nowhere nearby.
Yeah, it looked like they wanted to get the jump onto the Sona, who they thought was out of position, but then kind of overcommitting right there. Too many resources, not enough people, and the rest of the GA were really just right around the corner prepared for that. So VGA coming out of that one on top and picking up the dragon in the process.
The problem is when you overcommit onto the Sona and she has the crescendo reply, that sets up so many things. That sets up the final spark, it sets up the Crow Storm as well. In that instance, the moment you overcommit it, you've lost. And that's what we're talking about. The team that overcommits first is going to get punished because of these ultimates that can counter-engage, can counter-reply.
Yeah, and we were saying that the EVOS Valkyrie team was up about 5,000 gold. Right now they're only up around 3,000 gold. But the thing is, before that fight, most of that gold difference is actually on Coraline, who wasn't there in that fight. So if she's not around, you're pretty much looking at a much closer to even footing and being down a person.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, that's not the fight you want to take.
I would argue it's a massive deficit without Coraline around. So the choice to fight there was a big question mark ping for me.
Yeah, you would be that teammate in solo queue who's question mark ping.
I'm pushing
team.
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi. No. You're the one who's typing team. Wait all. Group mid.
Group mid.
Group mid.
Group mid. I'm strong. have void staff. Group mid.
No. Wait me.
What?
Wait me.
Wait me.
Wait me.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that's the one. That's gonna be your catchphrase. Whereas my catchphrase when I'm like 0
Sorry for dying.
No, it's like New Year, New Me. That's literally me in solo queue every single year when the new season comes out.
Oh, good crescendo on the back line. The light binding though not in range to catch the dancing Lulu. So
yeah, a bit tricky to try and get the jump onto Lulu with the W, with the E, with the R as well. So it's hard to catch her. Just gonna move it out. That one is chunked down to the half health, however, which is going to actually make killing her now very easy if she doesn't make.
I hope that she goes for Mikhail soon. She's looking like she wants to get an Iron Sensor, and I think the value of that is actually quite low because you don't have auto attacking.
Exactly.
ADCs
You're just getting it for MF, and it's not even all that useful.
Yeah. Whereas the Mikhail's is going to be able to not only remove the crescendo CC, it's going to remove light binding.
The Lux, exactly.
Yeah, everything,
Lux,
right?
The Lux Q is really the crucial when they want to cleanse. And
the fear as well from Fiddlesticks.
Yeah. And Sin right now also has the GA, so has a much more reliable form of engage because, I mean, he's always, yep, there it is.
Leading the front line, but getting caught out in the back line, having to pop the heal. They might have overextended a little too far here as the rest of EVOS are regrouping now. Jumping in, the AP Malphite actually decimating the backline, but not enough damage to finish off the Varus. Suka still alive, still dealing damage. Everyone else from EVOS Valkyrie backing off. Meanwhile, in the base, it's Min herself that has been pushing down. She's on the inhibitor turret, looking for an inhibitor soon after. Meanwhile, flashing in the fear on top of the Jarvan. I don't know where she can go from here. Run, Jarvan! He needs to get the flag and drag up, but walking away, no!
What are we watching right now, Lulu?
Final Spark was enough to lower the health, but the auto attack isn't enough. Min can't find the kill.
That was so close. Kamiho as well as Lulu needed 2 members, I think, on the side of EVOS to really shut down the Camille, who was split pushing over in bottom side. But man, I love both these teams. Honestly, it's a true shame that only one of these teams is going to come to FSL Elite here in Singapore in March, because both these teams playing their hearts out and playing styles that are just so unique to both of them. You've got that Luden's Echo, Malphite over on one side, you've got Min styling on the Camille on the other, plus the Fiddlesticks. I mean, both these teams just absolute treat to watch.
Taking stock of the situation, the goal lead is small for EVOS Valkyrie, but we saw in the previous fight, sometimes when EVOS Valkyrie moves a bit too far forward, they get punished, and Xin can be a bit over-aggressive sometimes. It's up to Coraline and the rest of EVOS Valkyrie to rein the jungler in and be on the same page. If you engage too far, there's no way we're going to be able to chase up to you, so exercise some restraint.
Yep, restraint seems to be the name of the game for both of these teams right now, as they look to set up for that mixed dragon right here at the 30-minute mark. Cloud, Drake, both these teams. Who's gonna go in first though?
That's the thing. I'm really afraid. I'm really afraid of V Gaming walking into these chokes because there's a Malphite with flash and out available, right?
Yep.
So many opportunities for things to go wrong. I'm so scared. No commit. No, just back off. It's cool. Just back off, let bot lane push in.
Just let them have it.
I feel like I'm part of this game right now. Like, guys, just back off, bot pushing.
We've been watching them the entire day. Oh, the Malphite looking like he wants to
Flanking
go for
Malphite,
the flank. At
please.
the blast cone too.
Please, they're going
Oh!
in. Pop Blossom only really gonna find one member. They will get the Cloud Drake, but have overextended bullet time. Not really getting anyone. It's a Zhonya's on top of that, and now Lux coming in with extra damage. They will be able to clean up this fight. Kamiho, very low, will die, and it's a clean ace coming through from the members of VG. I believe V Gaming might have just broken this game wide open. Overcommitment on multiple fronts. Once more, not finding the wombo combo that they need. It's going to be game 1 going to VG Gaming.
Yep, double teleport from both men as well as Ping to secure this game number 1 win for the side of V Gaming after that clean ace. What a game.
I'll be honest, I was hyped for the Malphite waiting on the side. I was like, okay, this could be the moment. They're setting this one up.
Yep.
And then they completely whiffed the combo because they pulled the trigger at the wrong time. And from that moment on, you know, okay, this isn't gonna work out.
Yep, Pop Blossom didn't quite land, and then Malphite just went in at the exact spot that the Nico was, trusting that Coraline had a good hold on the positioning for the wombo combo, and then just instantly getting blown up because you're also squishy. You've gone for the glass cannon build. Once you miss position in that last crucial team fight, that's just gonna be it for your game.
It seems like both teams are like baiting each other into starting the fight. They're like, oh, Dozo, please
you
go.
Please,
you know?
you first.
Yeah, whoever goes first. And then when they overcommit, if they don't get the instant kills, the enemies just turn the fight around, and that's how they clean up and win the game.
Yep, and what a game number 1 to start off this best of 3 series between V Gaming and EVOS Valkyrie. Guys, we're going to go for a very short break before we come back with a game number 2, so don't go anywhere. This might be match point for these teams. We'll be back shortly. Hi guys, and welcome back to game number 2 of the Female Esports League of Legends. It's been a long day, not gonna lie, it's been a long day, but we are finally in what just might be match point, unless VGA can turn this one around in the best of 3 series. It is match point for EVOS right here. If they do win this game number 2, they will, with this 2-0, make it to the FSL LoL Elite in March.
I'm pretty sure it's VG with the match point, actually. Yeah, VG is the one that's ahead. EVOS is the one that's behind. I'm just gonna put that out there. It's been a long break, guys.
It's been a long break.
Jenny's brains have like left a bit.
No, they swap sides because right now EVOS is blue side.
Sure,
No, I wrote, I have it like on the wrong side.
Okay, but with that, like you said, you know, it is match point. Picks and bans underway. We see Syndrome mid. Should be the support Xerath with the Varus here. In this instance, you would need someone to peel or reset the fight because you don't really have any good way of getting around the situation. You know, for EVOS, Valkyrie, pretty well rounded, but they don't really have to tunnel in onto a top laner just yet. Lucian Nami is still pretty strong though.
Oh, okay, yeah, this is interesting. It's kind of, I mean, it's a traditional strong poke lane with the Lucian Nami. The thing is, you're going up against the Varus Xerath, and if you thought that Varus Q and E had some good poke, I mean, with the Xerath, the thing is, Xerath also has the added stun. So if you do land the stun, the follow-up RQ coming out, the combo, especially once you hit level 6, is almost always a guaranteed kill if that does happen. So it's a really scary lane.
I think it's actually a much stronger as an all-in lane because you always go for press the attack on Lucian, and your level 2 all-in just goes through level 3 works as well, but you basically want to bubble the Xerath and leave no way for her to respond. If you sit in the lane for too long, you actually get poked out quite badly, so even with the sustain from Nami's ebb and flow, you actually still get chunked up pretty badly, so there is some issue there, right?
Yep, and that's going to be the Aatrox last pick up for VJ, which does make sense. You're saying you kind of want something, not quite frontline. I mean, you do have the Jarvan to frontline, but you're looking for something really to reset the fight. Aatrox isn't quite going to reset the fight, but I think the way that VJ are intending this current team fight to work out is land the stun, everyone goes in, and that's pretty much it. And they also have a very good potential for picks if you're thinking the Xerath roam or the J4, as well as Aatrox with Syndra. They have a lot of very good pick potential. It's a very solid composition.
Tricky thing about these mage supports, when I say mage, I don't mean like Enchanter, Nami, Janna, the kind, right? I mean like the poke mages like Xerath, like Brand, like Fygar if you play in a support position, is that lane, the moment it falls behind, it loses instantly because when you play from a disadvantageous position, you don't get to proc your passive gold stacks, if you will, on your support items. So in that sense, you need a lot of focus from the jungler to come down to the bot lane to establish that either you're equal or ahead. So in that way, when you start poking the enemy, you get gold, you start your snowball from the lane itself. If you're playing defensively, you actually don't have the ability to poke all too much, especially on something like Xerath, which needs to auto attack to get mana back. I highly advise that V Gaming calls Jarvan to the bot lane early and often and establish some sort of priority in the bot lane and leave Syndra and Aatrox to their own devices. They'll be fine in their own solo lanes.
Yeah, I mean, in the solo lane, you're looking at Syndra versus Ari, for example, kind of a skill matchup, really, between that. So, I mean, if Ping has any sort of familiarity playing Syndra in the mid lane, which she definitely does have, then she's not going to need the J4 in the mid lane as much. Whereas I like that you brought up how Xerath isn't a very good pickup if you fall behind. Talking about champions that fall behind, I mean, look at half the composition that EVOS is running. You've got Lee Sin, Ari, as well as Poppy. The second this composition falls behind, that's just it. You're going to have to count on that last ditch tunnel turtle for your Lucian in base, trying to hope that your Lucian can 1v5, which is going to be almost impossible versus a Syndra as well as Varus versus the Aatrox versus a fed J4.
In the late game, Lucian has the worst drop off because of the range, right? If you don't come out ahead,
exactly,
you can't really take these fights because it's so dangerous for you to walk into range.
Exactly. Your range is short, and plus you can't wave clear the waves very fast anyway. So it's really a disaster trying to come back in a game.
Think about how you're gonna duel against Syndra, Varus. Just picture a team fight, right? The moment you walk into their circle, the danger zone as it were, you get stunned up, you get unleashed power, Varus is gonna hit you with Chains of Corruption. So overall, Lucian does not really pose much of a threat in these team fights unless he's far ahead, or the team in general is far enough ahead to just walk in, right?
Exactly. Just I'm not too sold on the EVOS Valkyrie composition this time, just because I mean it looks like they're going very heavy in on the early to mid game. What if the Lee Sin, with the Ari, they're really going for that level 6 power spike and trying to get enough of a snowball that they can then close out the game fast enough. I mean, we've seen some pretty good games from EVOS so far, especially towards the end of the lower bracket. It really did look like they were picking up steam and just getting better and better. So, I mean, maybe, who knows, this might be their game.
With any chance, they'll be able to equalize the score, but we've seen one consistent trend with EVOS is that they really can't close out games. Like, for some strange reason, they've had difficulty the whole day closing out games. Even against Iris Gaming, I believe, was the Box Gaming rebrand.
Previous Box Gaming.
Yeah, they had so many issues with actually getting to that point where the game was over. I think there were multiple points where it was super shaky, and if I was Iris Gaming, I'd be like, well, we can still jump back into this, right? So EVOS as a whole, that's their one weakness, I think, that can be capitalized upon, and we saw that in the previous game. Around that Baron fight, cost them a lot. And because of that, I believe, not Baron, excuse me, Dragon, right? EVOS pulled the trigger completely with most of their important ultimates, and because of that, VG managed to TP in and close the game.
Yep, and plus that's against Iris girls as well, who, I mean, as we've seen from today, are also not the best at closing out games themselves. And you compare that to V Gaming, who the second they got that lead against Iris girls, I think in our second game of today, it was just lights out for Iris Gaming. So doesn't bode too well, I think, for the side of EVOS Valkyrie, but we will see.
Looking at the keystones right now on our screen, nothing too surprising. Ari going for Electrocute, Syndra went for Electrocute as well. Both junglers actually did go for, of course he had to swap it out, but both junglers actually did go for the Conqueror. So overall, it's pretty much what we expect. When you go for Conqueror Lee Sin, that's when you get the challenging smite. You don't dip off as hard, like in terms of what you bring to the table in the late game. You still have that threat of being able to duel out the AD carry. Similar for Jarvan, you can go for challenging smite, put the target of focus into your Cataclysm and duel out.
And with that, guys, we are finally on the Rift for game number 2 of the FSL League of Legends 2020 Circuit Vietnamese Qualifier Grand Finals Best of 3 series. Whew, that's a mouthful.
Yeah, that is a mouthful.
EVOS Valkyrie on the blue side versus V Gaming over on the red side. And just to remind everyone that V Gaming did win the game number 1, so this is a match point for them. Just
Did they,
everyone,
Did they?
and most of all myself, that V Gaming won the game number 1, and this could well be match points. So
Yeah.
definitely a lot to play for. V Gaming are going to want to, I think, close this one out quick, especially after the pause. We do apologize
yeah.
for the delay. One of the players did have connectivity issues, I think,
Mhm.
dropped entirely off of the network, which is why we were trying to get that resolved and why the wait was so long. But yeah, so V Gaming definitely looked to want to close this out with a quick 2-0, as EVOS Valkyrie are going to try as hard as possible to take this BO3 series back.
So Lee Sin's going to be starting on the red side. Jarvan will be starting on her own red side. The importance here is actually this allows Kiriti to path to the bot lane to supplement and reinforce the Varus Xerath, like you were saying earlier. So this is good pathing coming in. On the reverse, whether Sin does decide to path down is going to be a whole other question, because right now she can go for red, blue, Gromp, and then bot straight. So see if they decide to do that. Interesting. They're going to be vertical jungling here, I think. So they see that Jarvan's on red, and she's going to cross over. Any second spent waiting for the gank in the mid lane is a second wasted, and they're still going to try and force it onto Ping, though, jumping in, Sonic Wave connecting. She's under turret, not having to blow any summoner spells, and right now having the drop on this buff is the Jarvan the 4th. We'll see the Lee Sin walking across.
Yeah, I feel like that's, yep. Oh, that's such a sad moment as a jungler, discovering that your buff is gone. And right now, J4, Kiriti with the double buffs hitting topside.
Oh, managing to deny the flag and drag in, though, but Liho is
Gonna
still
be
in a
flashed over
world
the
of
wall.
hurt. She's walking away from the wall. Here comes the Ahri, landing the charm. A lot of damage down to the Jarvan, who has to flash out. Lee Sin coming back in. This is a 2v3, and everyone on the side of VG having to back out. A great stun, though. Might just give them the kill. First blood going the way of Syndra, but they trade 1-for-1. Aatrox falling soon after. Meanwhile, everyone on the top side disengaging. It's a 1-for-1 trade, but the first blood did go the way of Ping.
What a messy skirmish. Xerath right now, bottom side, has hit that level 2. The thing is, both these supports very low on mana. You're seeing Nami with the sustain, with the W, using it to heal Kami because she's been getting so poked out in the lane mode, which is why both of them are so low in mana. You can see Xerath trying to use the Q right there to deal as much poke damage as possible. It just means that he's gotta either hit back to base soon or just gotta resort to his auto attack.
So the scary thing here is because Nami's out of mana, Xerath can just freely walk up and auto, right? And because he autos a champion, he's going to get extra mana back. So it's kind of a negative feedback loop, if you will. There's no real way to deal with this, the poke coming through. And Jarvan right now is just walking bot. So this is the perfect situation. If Lee Sin comes to alleviate pressure, you turn around and kill Lee Sin. This bot lane has full control right now for V Gaming, and there's really very little that EVOS Valkyries can do to respond.
Exactly, Lucian is entirely out of pots, has 0 sustain in the lane right now with the Nami low on mana. Pretty much at this point, Nami is going to have enough mana for the E to empower Lucian's auto attacks, but that's about it. It's about, as you saw, she's going to be in those skirmishes right now. Lee Sin going for invade of his own over in the top side red jungle. Looks to want to get back some of that experience from the blue buff that was stolen from him earlier on. Is going to pick up the Krugs.
They could look to make the dive happen. If Min is smart about this, she's just going to mass clear the wave right now and then back off. Instead, Sonic Wave landing, and that's going to be the resonating strike for the kill. Jarvan coming back up, though, is kind of tricky because there's no way she can reliably take this 1v2 without getting outplayed. I think
this is hard, and she's got blue.
This is a mistake, getting slammed into a wall. This should be... Oh, no! Sonic Wave not landing, though. That's a big error coming through. Eventually, the Corrupting Potion should give the kill over to Liho. It could have been much worse if the Sonic Wave connected onto mid.
I mean, they do trade 1-for-1, but we were saying, you're a jungler, you have your buffs, you don't want to transfer them over to your opponents. A nice bubble going to land on the Varus under tower, but because Lucian has gone back to base, there's not any follow-up that they can do. And Nami really just trying to hold the lane right here until Kamiho comes back, and then she can head back to base herself. She's going to do so right now, which just means that VGA are going to get this very early push in favor of them right now, and it means Lucian's going to miss out a bit on about half of of those waves of creeps before he makes it back.
Big problem here is Lucian is forced to go for Blade of the Ranking. Traditionally as Lucian, you want to go for Essence Reaver because all the stats that the item gives you is perfect for your kit. The mana on auto attack, the crit chance, the additional damage is all perfect for Lucian. Right now, because you're getting poked out, you kind of have to go for the sustained Vamp Scepter route, so this is less than ideal. Hold on, turn our attention over to this dragon that's being snuck away. Calls are being made. They need to come and defend this. Dragon drag in, not going to get stolen away, instead is secured by Sin. Meanwhile, inside the pit, a lot of damage down onto Jump. The 4th will fall eventually. Now they're chasing in. Everyone is locked inside this pit. Unleash power onto the Lucian, and Xin having to safeguard out in the flash from Narmi to get out to safety. They trade 1 for 2, but the dragon is going to go the way of EVOS.
Yeah, I mean, kind of worth, but then kind of not, because the Kamihiro is the one who died in that fight, and you really don't want to be setting your Lucian even further behind. We're saying that in picks and bans, you're really counting on the Lucian to be your bridge from the mid game into the late game if it goes that far.
I think at this point it's kind of boomed in the bot lane, so you can't go and snowball top either because it's a Poppy, so you more or less have to play for team objectives. And what I mean by team objectives is this: play for lane plating, play for Rift Herald, play to get your overall team ahead as opposed to individual players, because only then, if you distribute the gold fairly, can you team fight properly.
Yeah, bot boom, CS boom.
Yeah. You
gotta hope for it, not the mental boom. The mental boom is the tilter.
If you're a mid laner going even, you hate to see that. It's like, well, bot is just dying on
Why is bot feeding? Why is top feeding? Why is top Yasuo again 0-5? Why is bot Vayne not doing anything? The opposite of the dream comp. Yeah, that poke is sick.
It's quite frustrating, right? So I feel like getting the Lucian into this Xerath Varus is kind of greedy. They could have gone for Draven. Draven would have actually been perfect against this matchup, because Varus has no way of trading equally early on against the Draven. Oh, great bubble though. Ooh, fancy
charm!
feet coming in from Ping. The great stun onto Lee Sin allows her to get out. Spirit Rush being used. Should not be able to find the kill here because she's hiding in between. The Unleash power actually takes Coraline very low. Everyone's just backing off now. Sin still looking a bit cheeky, wants a bit more action, but will back off. Meanwhile, coming into the bot lane is Killer T. Has the Cataclysm, has the flash, but will get spotted out by the pink ward, so...
He walked out, she walked out of the bush and was like, wait a minute, I think I saw something in that bush, and then went back to clear that pink ward. But Ping, what play from that, just her control of the orbs. I swear, if you use SKT Syndra skin, you get a buff.
Meanwhile, top side taking a couple of hits
gonna
from
live.
Yeah.
Doesn't have teleport.
I think she might die here.
Yep, she's gonna die to the dive, and I was saying she doesn't have teleport. She can't get back into the lane fast enough. I foresaw the future right there. Somehow she was gonna die. Talk about dying.
Oh, the heal!
Silka, no!
They will use the Rite of the Arcane, but if they can get another one, I feel like this is value in itself. Nope, no mana on the Jarvan. They won't be able to find that one. Silka overextending. You have to. That's a fuse bad moment.
Yeah, she was backing off at that point, but not. I don't think there's far enough that you can back off from that engage.
Oh yeah, all the way back.
All the way back. Back to base. Yeah, back to base you go. Don't collect 200 as you pass go. Sin gonna pick up Shelly right there. Got
like
the purple glove buff right there. Pre 10-minute mark again, which is very nice to see.
Like I was saying earlier, you can play for team objectives, right? So she got the dragon earlier. Now you get this Rift Herald. If you can find a second one, that'd be perfect to equalize the deficit in the bot lane early on, as well as that of the mid lane. Because by popping Rift Herald, not only do you get the turret plates, you also open up the map, and that allows your Ahri, that allows your Lee Sin to find the picks that they want.
Yep, meanwhile, a lot of pings going down bot side. Syndra right here with the roam. Gets the stun.
Tidal Wave being used to disconnect the fight, but eventually they will find a kill. Ignite barely enough. You have to think that was a bit of a delayed ultimate coming out from the Nami there.
kind of one of those panic tidal wave R's under tower as you see your AD carry get caught, but way too late. Nothing Kamiho could do right now. 2, 3, and 0. He's done a good job so far to pick up those 2 kills. However, is still pretty far behind, down 23 CS against the Varus, and now losing so much tower play gold. EVOS should be able to get this one faster. I think they're going to win the race for first blood tower, probably. About 3 more hits should do it.
Especially with Lee Sin. With Lee Sin, it's actually really easy to siege with Herald because you get the bonus attack speed from your passive.
Exactly. Plus 310 gold, just what we like to see. And Kamiho is back just in time to clear out this wave to make sure that actually bot tier 1 is going to stand after all.
Look at the mini-map teleport coming in from Liho, but no one really there to follow up. You have to think this is a mistake coming in from EVOS Valkyrie. They want to look for Silka, but like I said, no one in the range.
Return TP coming in.
Liho overstepping just a little. Here comes the World Ender using the Keeper's Verdict. Not just yet though, as they change the fight over onto Liho. They will find an Nami, they will find a Poppy, and the only one left alive right now is Kamiho. Oh man.
VGA. Oh, Ari with that nice R and E charm, but not nice enough apparently, and not enough damage. You can't do much 1v4 versus the rest of V Gaming, and turns out V Gaming really wanted that bot side tier 1.
They managed to turn that around with a very good teleport coming in from the Aatrox. World Ender on arrival guarantees that you at least catch one person with your Q.
Exactly. I mean, Min saw Liho's TP and was like, "Oh, is that a TP? Let me show you a TP."
You could almost smell like that gank from Poppy was not going to work because the moment she arrived, everyone was still like behind the river.
Exactly.
Right?
I think the thing is though, she didn't really have good choice of ward positioning to TP onto. I think there wasn't really the amount of setup that EVOS Valkyrie wanted going into that. They were kind of just like, okay, go bot, and that was the best ward that she could pick. Oh, Q landing onto Syndra actually.
Tidal Wave as well is going to knock 2 members of VG up. They're still walking back in, but no mana on the Syndra means you probably shouldn't stick around. Inferno Dragon is going to be the Q from here on out, but remember that all 3 dragons early in the game were taken by Lee Sin, so that's Mountain, Cloud, as well as Ocean, I believe.
Yeah, and EVOS Valkyrie expended quite a number of ultimates. Number of skills right there, but they did come away with the Infernal Dragon. I think they were probably hoping to pick up another 1 or 2 kills on the side of a V Gaming, because despite all of that, they actually still are down about 2.5 gold. And at the 13-minute mark, that's a significant amount of gold to be down off of.
Oh, sorry, tell a lie. Hold on. Change the corruption in, having to use the stopwatch. Here comes Aatrox. Not really using the chains just yet, but holy moly, that piercing arrow was good damage to finish the kill. As I was saying earlier, tell a lie, I think the only 2 dragons that have been taken so far are Cloud as well as Mountain for EVOS Valkyries, but in the grand scheme of things, it seems that VG is still pushing the advantage pretty aggressively in the mid lane.
Yep, they're going to be able to pick up this one very handily, especially with the Blade of the Ruined King Varus right here. It's going to be a nice chunk of change right before the 14-minute mark as well.
Jungler's duking it out. Dragon's Rage used to kick the Jarvan away, but right off the Arcade is trying to snipe down the Lee Sin. All eyes onto Xin, who's backing off. Meanwhile, inside the jungle, having to get out is the Nami. This jungle right now just belongs to V Gaming. They have full control of this area, and they want to transition over to the top side.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous just how much control of V Gaming have. You just take a look at your mini-map. We've got all of those wards over around the top side river, as well as the entrances into the Busa jungle. They've even got one over towards the bottom side, behind Rid Buff as well. So definitely very good vision control coming out from the, I was going to say Vietnamese team, but both of them are Vietnamese. From
Surprise!
Surprise! Wait, what? What have we been casting all day?
It's a full Vietnamese regional qualifiers. With that being said, I want to chime in about how this game, both the jungler and the top laner went for Ninja Tab Eyes, which is like thumbs up, but I feel like it's going to be tricky to deal with the Syndra here on out because no one has really gone for magic resistance. Oh, good flash. Good stun though following through. They're looking to make this fight happen. In the middle lane, everyone just leaping forward. The flash used to keep the Zerf topped up. Might be able to finish this kill off. There you go. The Sonic Wave. Another cherry on top of the sundae.
Yeah, looks like they're all pinging
Second Herald,
Shelly. Yep, they're all pinging second Herald right now. V Gaming look like they might want to contest as you see the collapse coming in from J4 Aatrox as well as Syndra over in the back.
Bad idea, Jeans. Don't go anywhere near this objective. You'll probably die. Yep. Ah, man. Now the objective's taken and they're caught with their pants down. There's no reason for them to be here, you know, overextending once more. If you're not going to contest, then don't stick around.
Yep, League 101. But it just means that EVOS Valkyrie, they're going to be narrowing that gold difference. And they have picked up the Herald buff, of course, giving it over to Min. So EVOS will be looking to try and win another skirmish, which has proven to be hard for them so far before they really want to lay down Chili in order to maximize her. However, I mean, we're saying it's going to be they have the composition that want to get hit in the mid game, so actually it's kind of only going to get tougher from here on out.
Yeah, and looking at Xin, I kind of want to give some advice to anyone watching the play solo queue. Your first instinct when you get Rift Herald is like, okay, which is the best lane to put it down in? I highly advise that when you hold Rift Herald and it's not, you know, crucial on time, you could actually make the most out of it by winning a team fight first or finding a pick. That's how you get the utmost value out of Rift Herald, and just waiting, finding the right moment to do so after finding a pick or a team fight win is the best way to make your league grow.
Yep, that's the dream, Shelly. And right now, Nami getting caught out by 3 members of VGA hiding in that death bush right there. KO2 waiting for the opportune moment, just making sure he can make it across the Dragon Pit on the Blast Cone. Doesn't get charmed up by Ari, and I see you shaking your finger, Hungry Cass. You want to say something?
Oh, hold on. A lot of damage here. They're jumping inside the jungle. They already found the Lee Sin. The Wrath of the Arcane took him very low. And meanwhile, Liho joining in a bit too late, having to run away now. Great use of the Steadfast Presence to deny the last Q. But as I was saying before this random fight broke out,
you were not pleased.
The best way to actually deny people from using Rift Herald is to just pick off a member on their team. Because if you don't have 5, there's no reason for you to group up and use Rift Herald.
Yep. Exactly, and right now, VGA, great reason for them to group up as 5. They're going to pick up the next Infinite Dragon. Oh no, they catch a Liho!
Steadfast Presence not going to do all too much. They're only denying the entrance onto Jarvan, but the flash was used by Min, who was a bit over-aggressive there.
And no one goes down after all of that, but VJ do walk away with the Infernal Dragon. Of course, Flash Burn on the side of Aatrox, which means he's going to be a bit more susceptible. Aatrox, kind of one of those champions that you kind of, if you get jumped on, you're really going to need that Flash, because you don't really have so much escape. And you are quite squishy. Aatrox really shines when he's able to duel you on his own terms and not when he gets jumped. So Flash is pretty crucial actually for Min. So we will see if EVOS Valkyrie are able to capitalize on that later on. Right now, Sealga just gonna pick up the red buff very nicely. Already has the bit of the Rune King, the Zeal, and the completed Berserker's Greaves and Boots, and the extra 350 bounty. He's 4-1 and 2. He's actually 40 CS up off of the Lucian right now. Only saving grace is that he's got so much bounty on his head that the second that EVOS Valkyrie do manage to shut him down, it's going to be a big gold swing for them.
Meanwhile, taking stock of items on the other side. Interesting that Ari decided to go for the Hextech Proto Belt instead of the Luden's Echo. It's going to hurt her wave clear a little bit, but overall it just does fit into her style of wanting to isolate the Varus. Remember, like we said earlier, VG doesn't have any sort of means to reset the fight, so if someone gets caught, you can bet that EVOS Valkyrie are just going to run them down. Literally chase them until they die.
Yeah, the thing is, EVOS know that they've gone all in onto the mid-game composition, which is why they're going in for the pick onto the Ari and Lee Sin. They know that if this game goes to late, they've lost.
Yep.
So, which is why they're just going for the Proto Belt, want to get those picks, want to try and make it back into the game as best as they can, because if they don't, they lose this game, they lose the entire series, and it's all for nothing. All or nothing at this point.
The classic, I'm behind but I want to use Rift Herald move, pop in some random spot, meanwhile Spirit Rush away. A bit stuck inside the terrain, but she might be able to outplay this one, following through the Ignite onto the Jarvan, coming through once more, the charge in. And now it's 1v1 in the top side. I say that Lee Sin arrives to make it an unfair fight with the Dragon's Rage, but the Sonic Wave not following through, so there's no resonating strike. Aatrox now kiting back and forth, trying his best to use the Darkened Blade, but I'm pretty sure that mid is going to fall eventually here. Mid lane, the attention has been sent onto the inner turret, so they will trade 2 members for another structure in the mid lane.
Whew. Proto Belt almost paying off.
Yeah, almost.
Almost paying off for Coraline. They do pick up 2 kills though onto both Killer T as well as its Min due to some very good rotations right there. I believe Killer T did also have Bounty on him as well, so it's a pretty good amount of gold. However, they are still about 4,000 gold behind at this point, but I think the longer the game goes on, the less significant that gold difference is.
Yeah, but we're still like 20 minutes away from that point where the goal becomes insignificant because,
Yeah.
like we said, mid-game stages, and this is the part where Lucian has to shine. But because they didn't do too well in lane,
Yeah.
a lot of Kamiho's power has sort of dipped off right now. You can see she's contributing very little to team fights. Can't really step up to do damage. Only doing damage in the way of the culling, and only after CC is done, then she can step in.
Yeah, I agree. I just meant that like at the 12-minute mark, I think they were behind something like 2,000-3,000
Right.
gold, which at that point in time
yeah,
was
yeah.
pretty big. Now like 4,021 in comparison.
It's
like,
okay.
one item on 2 people. Typical top lane fight.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, with Conquerors still, it makes very little difference with these 2 bruisers going at it.
Oh, sneaky, sneaky. EVOS Valkyrie land the bubble.
Charm coming in. Oh, Chains of Corruption as well. They immediately delete the support, and now in the river, it belongs to V Gaming. The Baron itself is fully controlled. I'm not sure if V Gaming wants to make anything out of this play. You could see the immediate snap cleanse from Ping was so important there to turn the fight around.
Yeah, and a lot of pings going down right now over around the Dragon Pit. Oh, Lee Sin.
Great Scare of the Week. That's an extremely dead jungler, and meanwhile Ahri
I
in a world of hurt.
Yeah, I like how V Gaming kind of paused for a second as they were wondering who to give that kill over to on their side. And right now, VGA is going to clear out the pink ward over in the Dragon Pit just in time for this 3rd Infernal Dragon to spawn. They're going to shred that one really quickly, and that's going to be the 3rd Infernal Dragon for them in the bag.
I like that neither team is paying too much attention to the Baron because there is a new win condition in the form of Elder Dragon. So all you have to do is just take Elder Dragon every time it spawns, and sooner or later you hit that point where Elder Dragon is up, because right now I believe that there is only one more dragon before no, sorry, tell a lie. This is the 2nd Infernal that VG have, so there's 2 more and then it's Elder.
Yep, and right now EVOS and Valkyrie aren't really venturing out too far from their base. We saw them 3-man grouping over in their own topside jungle. Do have some fair amount of ward coverage, but even just taking a look at the minimap, pretty much vision control entirely in the hands of VJ. They've got good wards down at pretty much all of the entrances to blue side jungle around the river. So they're going to know when EVOS Valkyrie do decide to venture out of their base right now. Looks like they want to group over in the top side, try to get a kill onto Ping right here.
Ooh.
Oh!
So close, the flash, the autos. Not really getting it. Dragon's Rage into the wall, Sonic Wave, and Resonating Strike to get the kill, and that's a shutdown. Meanwhile, over here in the top side of the jungle, Spirit Rush away, Rise of the Arcane used to snipe the Ahri out. That was a great pick there onto Ping.
Yep, that was exactly what EVOS Valkyrie need to try and get back into this game. Not just the kill, but also the 600 gold shutdown onto the Syndra. I believe went the way of the Lee Sin. All right, there. This is going to be a good amount of change. Oh, right here,
Wow.
though. Nami
The
getting
damage,
chunked
hello?
so fast.
Using the Tidal Wave, and once more overreaching here is V Gaming. Now trying to make the damage count is Varus, now kiting away Siuka. Remember, her positioning has been immaculate so far in the series. The stun down, the damage onto Arya as well. Looking for the charm onto Zeref might be enough Proto Belt for it for the additional range, but everyone else is just backing off. Both EVOS Valkyrie and V Gaming have nothing, or rather want to have nothing to do here.
What?
Hello?
What?
Hello? Just as I say that, hello?
Come on, Coraline. You can play better than that.
Charm
We
in.
know you play better than that. Oh no, she's gonna get hit by the Varus Q.
Nope. No mana
No.
for that.
Oh no, and she got the slow from the Varus E
Ah.
as well, so it would have been like shooting fish in a barrel for Suga to land that Q, but Caroline gonna make it out of that one. But yeah, very uncharacteristic antsy play, I think, coming out from PJ. They know that they're so close to being the Vietnamese representatives that they're just going so over aggressive at this point. The thing is, they've only got about a 4,000 gold lead. Again, their gold lead has not gotten any bigger, and there's really no reason that they should be playing this antsy. Just, you know, play properly, close this one out, do things by the book, and they should be able to win this game. There's no reason to go for those sorts of plays.
Pings out onto Baron, just as I was praising both teams for not paying too much attention to the objective. They look like they might want to commit around this area.
Pings down on ping. I saw that. I know like you viewers can't see it. Hungry Cast just shook his head at me for like the bad joke that I made. It was not that bad
Shame.
a joke. Oh, ding, 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 shame. Ding,
Well,
ding.
that's like an old
That
joke.
was
That's
a
an old
letdown.
joke.
That season 8 of Game of Thrones was such a letdown. Oh, change of corruption, gonna land but right into the Ari charm. Cataclysm coming out and shut down onto the Varus double kill actually for Kamiho. What?
Caroline now redeeming herself, managing to kite around.
No.
Wow! This should be Baron, I think.
This, I want to know how much like EVOS Valkyrie just paid V-Gaming to throw for the last like 4 minutes, because that's pretty much what just happened.
Hey yo, Silka, check your bank account.
Now that's an old meme.
It is.
Hey Steve. Yeah, but I mean, absolutely no reason for Min to go in on that one. I mean, there was a case to be made for QOT, for Silka as well to go that aggressive, but absolutely no reason for Aatrox to really try and chase that kill
Down
right now.
Q.
Pim waiting around the back, trying to
2K
snipe his
health.
Baron.
Yeah, they might be able to do it. If nope, it's a smite away from Xin that
Oh, that
secures
was
it.
close. And with that, the gold lead has suddenly shrunk to actually 300 gold at this point. It's going to be a pause. Whew, right in the middle of all the action. But as we were saying, EVOS Valkyrie have managed to miraculously shrink this gold lead down to only 300 gold at the 27-minute mark after a series of pretty uncharacteristic errors from the side of V-Gaming.
I think they were a bit too desperate in certain approaches when it came to finding picks. You could see the moment Chains of Corruption landed from Silka. Most people are like, oh, we can go in now and try and find a pick, but it seems almost impossible that Ari would have survived and turned the fight around. Disconnect.
Oh no. I'm not sure if it was Coraline. I don't think, it wasn't Coraline who had the connectivity issues earlier on in the long pause between game 1 and game number 2. So I'm not sure what the issue right now is. Hopefully we get that started for you guys quickly. We want to see the rest of this game too as much as you guys do.
So looking to reconnect this Coraline. Taking stock of the situation, the goal is more or less even, but the Baron buff is in the pocket of EVOS. So this is a big problem, right? When it comes to kiting and pushing the lanes, it stalls them out, but for how much longer? Because even though there's an item discrepancy, even if EVOS catches up, I don't think they can take a fair fight as long as V-Gaming are keeping their hits cool.
Yeah, that's the thing, because we were saying early on that for the side of EVOS Valkyrie, they actually need to be ahead in the mid-game to really have a chance at fighting V-Gaming if the game goes towards late. The thing is, they've only just managed to equalize the gold score at the 27-minute mark, so they're actually behind where they need to be, because at this point, they should be ahead. They should be the ones making the proactive plays and trying to close out the game. So they've done well, I think, in the last 5 minutes, especially to catch up to where they have, but it's still an uphill battle for them.
Oh, we're back in. There you go. Like we said, taking stock of the situation, Baron buff belongs to the side of EVOS Valkyrie right now. You can see if they manage to pull back into this game, despite the small goal deficit.
Yeah, I mean, it really must be hard for all these players to really go through such a long pause, but just be able to keep that focus and that mentality. And talking about focus and mentality, J4 just picking up the Inferno Dragon, third one. I think this is the
It is.
yep, third time's the charm. VGA just coming back into this one instantly with the Dragon play. I'm picking up their third Inferno Drake. That was a nice long range
Scary.
stun. Yep, keep making sure that their mid-side tier 1 stays up for as long as possible. Coraline, oh!
This is when it gets
Proto belt
tricky.
forwards. Yep.
This is when it gets tricky because your opponents have Baron buff and all the lanes will be pushing in with Baron up minions. You want to hold this mid tier 1, but for how long? You know, if you overcommit and they decide to take the structure and dive you, you lose even more. You basically lose your inhibitor after that fight. So I think the call here is just to
back off.
Yeah, clear the wave if you can, but if they look to commit, you back off. You give this mid tier 1.
Exactly, it's just the tier 1 and plus you're almost at 30 minutes and you can't afford to lose this, especially since EVOS Valkyrie still only have a 1 tower, really don't have this sort of free reign over the map right now to really take control. So it's kind of alright to give them that mid tier 1 tower. We can see Xerath as well as Aatrox just making sure they clear up these waves. Yep, they're gonna lose it to the empowered minions.
All the structures getting cleaned off the map. You saw the bot and mid go down. So like we said, the safe decision is just to give it over.
Yep, and for the first time in this game, EVOS Valkyrie finally at the 29-30 minute mark are able to pull ahead in terms of gold by evening the tower score 3-3, and we are in for what looks like a really close game at this point, Hungry.
Might even go to game 3. Right now, EVOS Valkyrie looking like they want to take this to the full length.
Yep, and EVOS right now, 3-man grouping around in the mid lane. Kind of want to, usually with the buff, Baron buff, you really just want to try and maximize the buff by going to the side lanes as well. However, because this game is so close, plus they are the ones even in gold with the pick composition, they really don't want to chance that, which is why you saw them 3-man group over in mid lane and really only spread the buff to one side. I like how measured EVOS is actually taking things. Right now they recognize that yes, V Gaming have made a couple of mistakes, and actually this game has started to seem very winnable from their perspective.
Now, importantly, Baron buff is over, so this should be a window for V Gaming to at least claw their lead a bit more. We saw the mistakes in the previous fights was that they overcommitted onto what they thought were picks. As long as they are more tempered and reasonable with how they approach these fights, they will have better opportunity to join in. Or at least win the fight, rather. I can drag into the top side. Xin getting caught out here, but will safeguard away to her teammates. Bit of a lull state as both teams are looking for picks and trying to make things happen, but action seems to be happening inside the jungle right now as everyone on the side of VG is just grouping around here.
Back to the wet noodle fight. Although Aatrox at this point actually 2 levels down off of the Poppy. The Poppy is done really well. Just kind of going full tank gargoyle, stone plate, gauntlet, as well as Randrin's Omen. So, yep.
She whiffed the E.
Don't laugh at them. It's been a long day. It happens.
Dragon spawning in less than a minute means that VG definitely want this because they want the Infernal Soul. But they need to get lane prio first, so you can see the pings on the mid lane.
Yeah, it's rough. They need to send someone down towards bot to push that one out, as well as mid.
At least they got the Rift Herald, so the additional movement speed should be good for them. But there
Yep.
you go.
Dragon is spawn. Here we go, Hungry.
The pincer maneuver is actually pretty dangerous here. You can see Min is left out to dry on the side here. She can dash over the wall, should be good to rejoin her team. But here comes the Spirit Rush in on the Charm. The immediate QSS though is kind of tricky. Jumping to the back line is going to be Liho as well as the Ari that's doing a lot of the damage. I don't know where the focus is right now. You can see that already multiple members have fallen on the side of V Gaming. Yeah, but this should be the fight for EVOS, and this should be the Dragon as well.
Oh! Right now, 3 for 2. EVOS chasing down mid. Should just be a matter of time before they manage to pick up the kill on the Aatrox. And yep, there is the ace coming out for the side of EVOS Valkyrie, and they do still have their jungler, so it should, as I said, be the Dragon going their way. And that was actually a really close team fight. Really could have gone either way at multiple points, but I think crucially Nami did land that very nice tidal wave over into the backside. Really split up the fight for EVOS.
In these chokes, it's kind of difficult to fight against the Nami because there's so much work with the tidal wave that is. And denying the Dragon Soul away is kind of crucial here as well, because you stunt the AD and AP growth of VG a bit more. V Gaming now, they have to kind of take a step back and reassess the situation.
Is he
spotted out.
Yep. With the flag. It's going to just be a bit annoying, just delay the recall of Liho back into base.
34 minutes in, the gold is close to dead even. It's actually 1,000 a hit in favor of EVOS Valkyries on the blue side. Remember that they are down one game, so ostensibly if they lose this, the victory will go to V Gaming and they will be the Vietnamese representatives. But if they win this, then they will be able to take us to a game 3 and force a tiebreaker.
Yep, tiebreaker is going to be what EVOS Valkyrie want for this game. V Gaming, on the other hand, I think they had some hopes for a fast 2-0, especially at the first 15 minutes of the game where everything looked to be going their way, but just really got a bit over-eager for the close, and now we find ourselves in this predicament where they're 35 minutes in and the gold is dead even. However, they are still beside with the Aatrox, with the Syndra, with the Varus, and even the Xerath, who late game should be outputting a fair amount of damage, even when mid dies. This game, although only has 6 stacks on that book for right now, but definitely late game scaling wise, V Gaming have the advantage. It's just up to them to see whether they'll be able to close this or not.
They're moving to the jungle, trying to make a pick here. It's a control ward from the brush on top. They're looking for ping. I don't know if the Aqua Prison is gonna land. Nice sidestep though. They're looking for the insect. The Dragon's Rage in the wrong direction though. Chasing back and forth. The Spirit Rush should be enough, but the stopwatch, or rather Zhonya's Hourglass, keeps her alive from the unleashed power. They're pushing in.
Carlene's mechanics are really just a joy to watch. I mean, that instant Zhonya's, and you saw Syndra about to drop her orbs right there, but right now V Gaming with the quick rotations, they are going to 3-man pick up this inhibitor just and they're all just going to lose Syndra.
Run.
Absolutely worth it.
Run and don't look back. Stop charging Q. Just run and don't look back, man.
Oh my god, she's stuck behind the wall.
This is, I don't know why.
Oh no.
And now she's gonna drag the AD carry into this. This is gonna be a bad fight. I don't know if she's gonna be able to get out of here alive.
Varus has no flash. Use the ultimate just now too to try and save the Xerath. Oh, that orb goes wide.
This is on you, Windra. This is all on you.
Wow. Yeah, these are the sort of mistakes that I don't think that we're accustomed to seeing V Gaming make. The thing is, though, because V Gaming has won every single game they've played in the Vietnamese qualifier so far. They've played a lot less games than EVOS Valkyrie had to play at least.
Oh man.
Oh no.
This is a big issue. The Jarvan has been taken out already, so there's no chance of a steal coming in. I'm pretty sure that they're going to find the Syndra as well. Great cleanse coming in, though. They managed to turn the damage around with the Unleashed power, and that's going to be the Baron claimed by the blue team EVOS Valkyrie now. Still have 4 members, still have the Baron. They should be able to walk this into the base. The teleport's coming in, I believe, or rather the recalls to stop the damage onto the structures, but it's already been done. Bot lane has been opened up.
I think that Ping might have gotten the better of Ping.
Boo.
She just DC'd, come on.
Boo.
Hey! Hey!
It's like her team doesn't even care. She's like, ah, it's fine. She'll reconnect.
The team's
We
like,
have to pause.
nah, she died 4 times. She did have that very good 1v1, kind of, I say 1v1, but it was in the middle of a team fight versus the Ahri. Just now, just a pure burst. Ahri was trying to zone her behind the Baron pit. In case Syndra went for the steal off of Baron. And Min just really doing all she can, trying to carry the team on her back with the split push Aatrox. Oh, both teams converging now towards Dragon.
Inferno Dragon now being contested, teleport coming in, but it's a little too late as the Dragon has already been taken and the members of V Gaming are all split up here, jumping into the backline. They might find the Ahri and that might give them some respite, but the snipes coming in, not really following through for the damage. They will eventually be able to chunk out the Poppy. Flashing forward, it's gonna be the Varus that gets the kill credit there. Meanwhile, on the bottom half of the jungle, they're still trying to fight this one out. Dodging away, Xerath not running to stick around. A great stun onto the Nami and great double bubble. Might be able to turn this one around. It should be the triple kill, possibly the Quadra coming in, chasing on a ping, flashing away, and there you go, the Quadra for the Lucian. A great double bubble by the Nami. This should buy them the space to defend mid and push out.
Yeah, give that Nami a raise. You saw Silka going in for the kill right there. It looked so close. This game's got me on the edge of my seat, hungry.
More importantly, Inferno Soul went the way of EVOS Valkyrie, so they're clawing their way back into this one now.
Yeah, I mean, EVOS Valkyrie definitely making a statement. They're saying, don't count us out. Might have had a couple of missteps drafting into the lower bracket in the earlier part of the Vietnamese qualifiers, but I think especially with the last 20 minutes of this game, they've really shown that they're not going to give up. Sin right now, kind of a bit far in the jungle, knows that is going to back off from the Grump. He's going to make it out to safety through the river into his own jungle. Blue buff being handed over to Coraline on the Ahri. Ninja's clearing out some vision over in topside. VGA know that they're on the back foot right now and really just kind of making sure that the team is grouped together. They don't want to get picked off. They're already 6,000 gold down, and they just don't want EVOS to be able to get any more of a lead than they already have. I mean, it's taken a 6,000 gold deficit for them to realize, you know what? We gotta rein it in.
All items, I think, fully completed onto Silka already. There's only one left to be picked up. But you can see the damage from the Poppy. Jeez, it's starting to hurt. And God bless, Adaptive Helm picked up by Liho. So this reduces a lot of the damage from Syndra. Not only from her Qs, but her out as well. Each charge from the Unleashed power counts as one spell. So by the second or third orb, you actually take a lot less damage than you would normally without Adaptive Helm.
Yeah, she just got the Thornmail, and as we saw in especially the last team fight, it's just so hard. It takes so much time for the gaming to try and kill off that Poppy. Also, Xerath has sold off the Magi's, wasn't really doing much.
There was
for
a
him,
negative value buy.
Yep, 0 value buy, and picked up the needlessly large rod, however. Yep, going for the Def Tap build. Luden's Morello into Def Tap. Support Xerath, a classic.
Nice.
Classic. Classic Chads. Chads everywhere. Pretty much, yeah, I think all of the girl players that we've seen today are all those Chad builds, Chad play. So impressive though.
Oh, finding the Ari though, actually a lot of damage. The stopwatch being used, meanwhile slamming the Aatrox into the wall is the Poppy. The focus now getting charmed up, might fall very, very low. In fact, the first to go down is going to be the Aatrox. This might be the final fight of this game, ladies and gentlemen. Getting caught out is the Syndra double kill already for Xin on that Lee Sin. Now pushing in 5 members strong, just jumping past the wall, not giving a hoot whatsoever about the defenses of the side of the gaming. Now onto the inhibitor, there is, like we mentioned, 5 members strong. All of them are just pushing in. Already very low though is the Ari. We'll have to see if this actually counts for anything. 1 shot, 2 shots, 3 shots, all 4 are just completely going wide right now as they're taking the fight back in. Cataclysm into the back will get Coraline. Last defense coming through still from Silka. The rest of her team still standing around. Oh, very low already on the Lucian. Now Silka trying to make the stand, trying to make the damage count. Will be able to push them off. That was a good defense. Nearly cost them the game, but overall, Silka, the MVP, still standing up strong for her team.
Yeah, all started with a bit of an over-aggression from Min. Really uncharacteristic of her as well. She's pretty much been one of the grounding forces of reason on this team, but I think saw an opportunity to get the kill onto Caroline, dove a bit too deep, kind of got baited out by the hourglass from Ari, which really just bought a lot of time for the rest of EVOS to jump in, and once Min was dead, it just became a 5v4, and we talked in Picks and Bans about how V Gaming's composition is a bit lacking without the Aatrox, so especially 5v4, it's really a fight that they cannot afford to take. But really good of Silka to be able to help defend the base at that point in time, pick up those kills as well, turn into a 3v2 and forcing EVOS to back off.
You can see the Elder Soul, or excuse me, not Elder Soul, Infernal Soul coming to effect right now. The AoE damage burn coming in from the dragon. The Infernal Soul is starting to weigh and measure up. Meanwhile, Inferno Dragon is, not Inferno, Elder Dragon is going to be spawning soon. Guys, I'll be really honest on broadcast, my brain is it's fried right now, yeah. 45 minutes in, we've been here for 9 hours, and my brain is done.
10 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great Charm will just find the kill, and Ping will go down instantly now inside the jungle. The second to fall is going to be Killer T. The Dragon's Rage actually found 2 members there. I think EVOS have this right now. They might be able to close this one out. One more will get the Nami, but it's all in vain because the 2 members on top of this Aatrox and on top of this Varus. It's going to take a miracle from the Lord himself to keep them in this game.
That might have been the longest flash I've ever seen from Varus. So EVOS Valkyrie managed to finally pick up the kill off of Aatrox after popping his passive, and finally look to be pushing into base and closing out this game number 2.
And now we are going to a match point, a bit of a tie, as both teams have found themselves a win each. Interesting that EVOS Valkyrie, although very shaky at the start, managed to jump back into this one and equalize the situation.
Yeah, especially after the first 20 minutes of that game where it looked like DJ had everything going in their favor. But EVOS, I think, just really put their foot down. Like, you know what? We are not losing in this way today.
Yeah, with that, guys, we will be going for a short break. Not too long, hopefully. And when we come back, we will be looking at the resolution of the series. The best of 3 will find out who is going to be representing Vietnam in the FSL Elite later on in March this year. But for now, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hi guys, and welcome back to the Female Esports League, League of Legends new circuit, Vietnamese qualifiers, best of 3, grand finals, game number 3. We are your casters, Ray Richu, as well as HungryCast. If you guys have stuck with us to this point, We're just about at 10 p.m. on a Saturday
about,
night.
yeah.
If you guys have been here with us since 1 p.m., huge shout out to all of you. Major props. So we are finally into our very last game of today to decide which team between EVOS Valkyrie as well as V Gaming will be the Vietnamese representative coming to Singapore for FSL Elite over in March.
I think both teams should have a lot to reflect upon just looking at the VODs. Like in general, I feel like there are a lot of mistakes made.
I thought you were going to be positive.
No,
I thought you were
not
gonna
at
be,
all.
Because I thought you were gonna go with like, I think both teams deserve it. They deserve the spot.
There are multiple moments I feel like they could have closed out the games. They just got too overeager, and
That
this is
is
not
true.
we've come to expect from Vietnam, because Vietnam has always been traditionally the best
All
region.
in,
Yeah,
aggressive, forward, go, go, go,
Yeah.
close out that game, make it quick, make it snappy, show us the Vietnamese style.
And that kind of scares me, because year on year, if there is like improvement, if it's observed
Come
that
on,
way, like,
cut them some slack. It's just 2020. We're just coming out of Christmas and New Year. This is
maybe,
the
I don't
first region to have their qualifiers. They haven't even seen
maybe it's a patch
Philippines
thing.
or Thailand or anyone
Maybe it's a
else play.
preseason thing.
Yeah, it could be preseason.
I don't know, but
guys, we are on
when I speak to
9.24B, the last season before season 10.
when I speak to like Jolene, Lustreless, about the past teams that have been playing in the past couple of circuits, she says, "Oh yeah, Vietnam's super clean. The macros are really, really good." I look at this, I'm like, the macro is trash. Like, what is going on? Like, there are some points where the decision making just needs to be improved.
I agree. Some mistakes have been made today. But let's get into the picks and bans for this current game. We're almost actually towards the end of the picks and bans so far. VGA once again on the blue side, they're going to finally, I think this is one of the first games today where we really see a Gragas. Of course, Varus once again. We had it once.
Yeah, we saw it.
Yeah. And then Sealka once again going to be able to have the Varus. Is going to be King on the Lux. So we're expecting some pretty good things, plus the Akali as well as Pike to round this out. So very aggressive playstyle, very pick oriented, something that we like to see. Meanwhile, on the side of EVOS,
the mid jungle here is going to be quite important for EVOS, because Veigar Jarvan is a lot of kill pressure on immobile Lux in the mid lane. It should be the Akali on the top side. So both teams actually packing double AP solo laners, which implies that there's going to be a strong mid game spike. At one items, we do expect both teams to be popping off and looking for those key engages. But like I said, these teams, sometimes they don't really understand what their power spike timings are. I've credited a few of them for understanding, but a few have really been left to be desired, right? So I think an example in the previous game was when they were super far ahead, but they didn't really fully take advantage of the power spike, instead reaching for picks and then overcommitting, getting caught out. Both teams have actually made this mistake a couple of times. Even when they play wombo combo compositions, they overreach. I think they need to be a bit more reserved to understand, okay, this is the point we're strongest, this is the point the enemy is weakest. Even if we make all the mistakes in the world, we could still win, right? I feel like they don't recognize that window.
Yeah, I feel like in particular you're really talking about game number 2, the earlier game that we just saw between EVOS and VGA. But man, I knew it wasn't going to happen, but I was excited a bit for Rumble in mid lane, a la Faker.
Oh yeah,
Rumble
it's been
mid lane, exactly.
Casper
But
Cup
I mean, Veigar, a bit unlikely that Veigar's going top versus the Akali. Especially, I mean, you have such good zone potential, but it's not really going to help you versus the Akali who throws on the Shroud. So, I mean, kind of yes and no. It's like a very weird matchup. But I mean, you're going to want the Veigar versus the Lux together with the jungle help from the J4. You have so much zone. You can zone them off the towers and minion control with that E.
It's better you put the Rumble into the Akali matchup, because the Flame Spitter actually reveals her in the stealth.
Yep.
Yeah, so in that instance, whenever you take the damage down on Akali, it makes it much easier for you to keep track of her location in DW. And in that sense, you trade more favorably as compared to something like a Veigar. Although you do have the Baby KHD Event Horizon to stop Akali's dashes, it's still really tricky early on, especially if she's going for Conqueror, because the extended trades will always go the way of the Akali if, you took the mid lane matchup.
Yeah, and this game, I like that now that we're down to the wire, really, this is the most important game by far of the entire day. This is where it counts, and I like how we're seeing both these teams' playstyles really come out. I mean, VGA, they've just gone all in on individuality. They're like, we're gonna play the support Pyke, we're gonna play the top Akali. I'm gonna play mid Lux because I want to, and I'm great at that champion. It's just we're seeing the to each team's quirks coming out, and then you look at EVOS, who I think throughout the entire day we were thinking, they're an aggressive team. But not versus VGA. I mean, they've made their match in terms of which team says go and then pedal to the metal instantly, and they've instead gone for a more reserved sort of composition with the strong traditional Zaya Rakan bot lane, with the J4, and with the Rumble that's good in the meta right now.
Yeah, this comp overall is really good in the mid game when it comes to 2-item, 1-item spikes. I say 2 items because Rumble's items are actually pretty cheap. You always want to go for like the early, go for the early haunting guys into the Leandries and the Sword Boots as well. Vigar's items are not so much items as they are, power points when you hit enough AP. So I think traditionally, traditionally when you play Vigar, you want to go for some variation of the Hextech Revolver. So I think most people go for GLP, depending on the keystone that you pick up. But like I said, the mid game, it's a lot about area control for this composition when they hit the item spike.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, we've got about 15 seconds left before we jump into game after the spectator delay. And I guess it all comes down to this one question, Hungry Cass. Who do you think is going to take this game and the series?
I think so far VG has, V Gaming has left a lot to be desired in terms of closing games out. Like you saw the previous game, I think in the span of 5 minutes through their full lead, when they had Varus constantly trying to find picks with chains of corruption, when you should be using that to deflect aggression instead, right? You had a Varus that was 2 items ahead, could have just walked up and sieged. Instead, no, they kept trying to find picks. That kind of decision making scares me as a team. Like as a unified team, if you don't understand you should be playing this way, that I can't really put my chips on that particular team. Whereas for EVOS, although their mistakes were in trying to close the game out, they demonstrate that they understand the power points a bit more. I feel like as a whole, they know that, okay, we're far enough behind, we just turtle, it's fine. Compared to the other teams that would needlessly face check Dragon or try to contest for objectives. So EVOS seems like their fundamentals are better, and in that sense, I think I'm more likely to vote for them, and my confidence lies with EVOS a bit more.
Yeah, I feel like I kind of agree. I think just mentality-wise, just the way that EVOS closed out that game too, it's definitely got to be damaging to the V Gaming squad's mental. They had such a good dominating win in game 1, and then the good first early 20 minutes of a game 2 as well. So I'm not sure if they'll be able to really rein it in, take a breather, and just reset their mental for this game. But with that, guys, we have spawned on Summoner's Rift for our final game of today. We are in game number 3 of the grand finals of the FSL League of Legends 2020 Circuit Vietnamese qualifiers, to see which of these two teams between EVOS Valkyrie and V Gaming will be the Vietnamese representatives for FSL Elite over here in Singapore on the 7th and 8th of March. Definitely a lot to play for, and definitely a lot on the line.
5-point strike being leveled up early by Min, trying to get the damage down, but not finding the target in the form of the Rumble. Both teams once again very reserved, no advanced information being given over to either side. This is a slow opening with a lot of guesswork involved. Yeah,
I think very traditional level 1 sort of fan, very safe type of opening that we really, I think especially in the first half of the day, complete 180 from what we were seeing. We're seeing that 5-man level 1 cheese, those deep invades, but right now both these teams, they know that there's so much to play for right now in this best of 3.
Gragas will be starting on the Rip buff, and this time finally taking Predator. It's one thing that sort of like, I guess it's an individual difference, but I feel like the best way to play Gragas is with Predator, because you have the best level 2 cheese gank. You can just clear one half of your jungle, back off, get boots, and then come back in to gank the lane. It's almost guaranteed you get a kill once you have flash up, so I think everyone else that doesn't take Predator is kind of playing a different style, but it's not the optimum. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, gank coming in, having to flash out, the Zaya Rakan combo, getting caught out by the gank from the Gragas. They may want to look for more. A great hook back in, but will force the heal out and the piercing arrow as well. So early cheese gang coming in from Killer T in the bot side, like I said. Gragas very efficient with the belly slam. All summoner spells blown by the bot lane of EVOS Valkyrie here.
Oh, Ping makes it
away.
out of that one on the flash though, and Corlin going to aggro the Raptors are right there, but they're not done yet.
Current range.
Wait, what? No, that last Q just barely not enough damage to get the finishing blow onto Killer Teamies. Both Lux as well as Gragas going to make it out of that one alive. No first blood just yet. What?
Yeah, kind of cutting it close on both sides. I want to point out that Coraline did go for the Predator, and had she gone for maybe Arcane Comment, it could have guaranteed a kill there. I feel like stylistically, Predator on Vygar is a bit of a poor choice because you're not going to be roaming out of lane all too much when there's a Pyke on the opposite team.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, when you're talking about roaming, you're just not quite going to be able to match the roam of that Pyke.
I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like, you walk out of lane expecting to gank someone safely, but then there's going to be a Gragas. There's always going to be a Pyke roaming.
Yep.
The value of that Predator is very much not there. Slightly questionable.
Yeah. Yeah, the sick thing about Pyke is he's got the mobility that champions such as Rakan or Bard has, but then he's also got the water walking.
Oh, auto should get them the kill. There you go.
Scumbag Pyke gets that extra gold. Come on, you want to give it over to Sealka. This is the most important game of your qualifiers. Scumbag support Pykes, man.
I mean, still good because now this means that Pyke should be able to pick up that boots of mobility and impact the map a bit more when it comes to roaming around.
Yep, he's gonna likely get that very early Moby Boots, or if you're total Chad, you just straight up go for the lethality build. As the Pyke, you hit 1100 gold and you're like, alright, my time to shine. Akali.
They're overreaching here.
Yeah, they're both of them, actually. Sick skin though. Props for the skin.
Both skins pretty good.
Yeah, yeah, that was the most compliments we were gonna give that play.
Out of mana, managing to land the bind here. There we go, the roam coming in, boots of mobility, like we said, and this should be a guaranteed kill. Landing the Q, pulling her back, and yep, I don't think there's any way out. No flash either. This should be autoed down, finished off. Scumbag jungle takes the kill, but it's okay.
I feel like Dead Veigar is kind of on theme with the whole Coraline. I don't know why, like Veigar he's got that black mage look going on. Just reminds me of the aesthetic. And oh no, Rakan doesn't want to be there. Does have the W, of course, just in case. It's the safety of that knockup. Gragas as well, just gonna E out of that one. And Pyke just gonna walk off back into lane. No harm done.
I wanna highlight something. You can see there's a CS discrepancy between both junglers, 30 to 16, right?
Yep.
But ostensibly levels are the same, and why is that so? Because you get very little EXP by just hard farming your jungle in this patch. You need to make things happen, and because the Gragas managed to dip into the lanes to get a kill, to get some CS EXP from his solo laners, that's allowed him to stay relevant when it comes to EXP and levels.
Right now, Rakan on the ward, gonna shoot out some Keeper poke. Oh, gets hooked in by the
Bone Skewer is pretty
though.
solid.
Yep, nice Bone Skewer. I mean, full vision of the bush. Of course, Jarvan gonna land flag and drag. Oh, Gragas gonna get hit by the
Great combo in. Understood the amount of damage that they had. Meanwhile, overreaching now Jun inside the jungle, having to back off. Final Spark not getting the kill, so now Ping has overextended, and EVOS Valkyrie going to turn their attention over onto the mid laner of V Gaming. Kamiho now chasing down, doesn't have the flash, doesn't have the ult, doesn't really have anything to finish off this kill with, so they will be able to let the Lux escape, and that is a 2-for-0, I believe, or rather the 1-for-0 being picked up there.
Yeah, Kamiho, as you mentioned, Naya level 6, and J4 during that exchange was still only level 4. It's only just hit the level 5 mark. Ping did have a pretty good positioning for the final spark, I want to say. I think he landed damage down onto 3 members on the side of EVOS, but I mean, you know, early level 6, you're not going to have that much damage just yet.
If the wave pushes out, Akali can solo kill Rumble.
Yeah.
She's at that point where she has Conqueror, and
she
if
can
it
dive.
stacks fully, she should be able to kill him. She doesn't need to dive, she just needs to play the ranges properly and find the solo kill. So as the wave resets and pushes out, right here. It's gonna be pushed. Oh, she queued him. It would have pushed out.
Yep, a lot of pings going on bot side. Looks like Caroline going in for the roam once again over towards the dragon, which looks to be the next big objective right now. Taking a look at the CS difference over in bot side, Silka has it at level 6, where Zaya crucially still only level 5, actually down 21. CS only has 40 CS to the Varus 61, so it's actually down a whole 1/3 in terms of CS right now. Oh, Rakan, only level 4 though. Don't really have the utility tools.
They forced the Chains of Corruption out from the Varus, so that's an important key spell that's been used. This means that when Gragas comes in to force the gank in the bot lane or make anything happen, there isn't that much on-demand CC, nothing as reliable now. You know, teleport coming from Liho as well as Caroline. Here comes the Equalizer, and the Out should be able to find a kill with their Primordial Burst, giving Caroline the kill on Silka. They trade bot strength for top side, so should be looking to put down the Rift Herald on the top half of the map.
Yep, meanwhile, looks like Veigar is gonna head back towards mid. A lot of question mark pings going on around the top side. Of course, Killer T on the Gragas is over up there mid, low in health. Oh no! Yeah. They didn't have the wave! No! So Shelly only got one hit onto the top side tower.
This is what I mean by like macro
Small
decisions,
mistakes,
right?
Yeah.
If you don't have the wave there, the turret is actually stronger with more resistances. So it would have been a better choice to just wait for the wave to come in and then channel the Rift Herald. So that's one of the small things, like
exactly.
I see that, you know?
I feel like they got a bit antsy because they probably saw Liho recall back towards base and like, oh, like now is the window, and then they probably summoned Shelly at that point in time. Really, they could have waited a bit. I don't think Liho had teleport either. But yeah, I agree. Definitely could have played that better.
It's these small things that make me nervous, and when they start to pile up, that's when you lose the advantages that you play so hard for, because you're already a hit, right? And then you just make small mistakes like that. Very tricky. Moving into the mid-game phase, now you can see the items are starting to be decided, or at least chosen by many of these players. It's going to be the Gunblade picked up for Akali, so no surprise there. Meanwhile, Blade of the Rain King for the mid, rather bot lane Varus. Luna's Echo is going to be the pickup of choice for Lux, and similarly for Caroline's Vel'Koz, excuse me, Veigar as well. They're starting up this dragon.
Yep, first dragon of the game at 10.5 minutes in. Doesn't look like V Gaming. They're a bit late to try and contest this though. Yep, it's gonna go cleanly over to the side of EVOS Valkyrie. V Gaming a bit late to that party.
Yep, did use the Equalizer on the top side to clear the wave out, but this is a dangerous point. Have to respect the damage coming through from the Akali. Every time she has an out up, must understand that she can one-shot you if you're below 50% health. Especially because this Rumble did not build any magic resistance.
Yep, as you mentioned, just oh, yep, going for the Hextech Revolver and Dark Seal this game.
I do not like this build at all.
Yeah. Yep. Pike gonna not get spot out. Right now, Zaya and Rakan trying to gain back some semblance of control of the wave. Also, one of the reasons that earlier I think the Varus was so far up in terms of experience over the Zayos, also because Pike's been doing a bunch of roaming, so allowing Varus to soak up that single lane XP. Right here, though, 3v2.
Oh, great pullback in the Bone Skewer. The exploding cast with a little bit, but this should be Death from Below coming in from the execute. Not really getting the reset, though, so it's kind of tricky there. But the teleport in from Ping was just for good measure. A lot committed to find a single kill, but
yeah, I mean, V Gaming really were hoping that that could have been a double. Also, probably hoping they could have done the 3v2. Oh no! Pike's ultimate, come on! Well, they get it in the end. Ignite not going to be able to finish off Pike. Was a close thing, however. Oh, that's going to be the Lux combo coming out. Veigar trying. No, he's just, going to land the E, try to get the Q. Has R as well, but oh, not oh! Oh, gets the kill with the auto attack. Not quite enough full damage on the combo right there, because the thing with the Rygal, you know, you really want to use the R at the end of your combo, but had already used the W, used the Q, didn't have anything left, and you could tell Caroline was like, do I wait for my Q to come back up, because she knew that R wasn't going to finish off the Lux, but by then she was kind of, you know, too low health in a bad spot.
Remember, a key facet of this matchup is that Caroline has 0 combat keystone. Predator is only useful if you're roaming and trying to make something happen, but in this instance she couldn't really do anything to top up damage in that sense in the duel, so of course Ping is always going to have the upper hand with the Arcane Comet. Makes it a lot trickier when you take these fights.
Sid with that sneaky route through the blue side jungle. Yep, but Pyke right now though.
Oh, explosive cast.
The wrong way as well. Re-engage coming in from J4, but Lux is here right now. Final Spark gonna go down, and what a nice Q as well. Going to set up the double kill for Sealka, and with that, V Gaming come out ahead.
Nice, they're still chasing on, and they still have the second tick of this Q, so they will be able to follow through on the Veigar, who has no flash. As long as they proc the Q properly from Akali, should be guaranteed kills all across the board.
Oh
so
man,
much gold!
So much
What is going
gold,
on?
So much artificial gold generation. That's the phrase. That's the one you like, Hungry.
So much gold.
So that was like 600 gold. All of that bouncy gold for his team. Man, I love it when there's a Pyke on my team, and then I'm playing like some other supporty type, and I can just easily farm that bouncy gold. Best feeling ever. For me, not so much for the rest of the other team. But yeah, very well played from V Gaming. Nice combo, nice roam from Ping to start things off. Lux was in the right place at the right time and set up those 2 kills for Sealka, who's right now 3, 1, and 4.
The question now is, why didn't the Rumble TP in? Because if they were looking to re-engage and it was Jarvan that made the call, why was no one there to follow up? Because in that narrow corridor, I feel like the Equalizer would have had a lot of value, right? So it seems like there is a disconnect once more when it comes to making calls and the decision to go back in on the side of EVOS Valkyrie.
Yeah, and right now Nick's objective looking to be contested, looking to be taken by V Gaming. Is going it to the Shelly. It's the second Shelly spawn. You know, I saw on Twitter there was this poll on what the second Rift Herald spawn should be, and was like, should it be Sally? Should it be like, there are all these other names on what it should be. Oh, there's a pause.
I feel like
as we segue into what should we name Shelly's sister.
I feel like she keeps the name because it's not like her relative. It's just her coming back again, right?
Really?
Yeah. So if like a champion dies, you don't change the name, do you?
I mean, it might be. What was that? This might be the Prestige all over again. Who knows?
The Prestige? Oh.
Yeah, where one of them dies and it's like, you know, it's not the original. Who knows? But yeah, I thought the poll was hilarious. It's like, do we call her Sandy? Do we call her Sally? Do we call her... No, Cindy is Yorick.
Yeah. Cindy is
Yurith.
also doesn't start with Sam. Like, it doesn't start with S either, right? So it's kind of tricky.
I mean, it could. S-I-N-D-Y. S-I-N-D-I-D-I-E.
Hard pass. No. This sounds weird.
It's like Ashley with like a A-S-H-L-E-I-G-H. All the new like hipster ways of spelling. Names. Yeah.
New parents tend to do that all the time. Like they change.
They want to be individual. I mean, there are how many billion people on the planet? They just want something new for their kid.
It's very tough because when they go to school and like their friends haven't heard the name before, they tend to get made fun of.
Yeah, because you know, I mean, like you could name your kid like any normal name and they would still get bullied. I mean, I got bullied as a kid. I'm pretty sure you got bullied as a kid.
Not for my name.
Okay, look.
The name makes it like there's a bigger target on your back when your name is weird.
You were either getting bullied or doing the bullying, alright?
Why is your world so
either absolute? Or.
No,
come
I'm
on.
just a normal kid. I play football, you know.
No, that's what all the bullies say. All the bullies are like, no, I had a normal childhood. No one bullied me because I alphaed them first.
Your life in school must have been so difficult back then. It's like either one. There's
back
no like
then,
kids
what do you
just
mean back then? Life is still difficult now, Hungry. What do you mean back then?
So funny. It's just like you just suffer. Either you suffer or you make people suffer. It's so
Exactly.
difficult.
That is the dichotomy. Guys, we are in a bit of a pause situation right now. As you can see from your screens, pause timer down to around 27 minutes. We're not, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say it's connectivity issues over on the Vietnamese side. That's like when people were watching Kespa Cup 2 or 3 nights ago, and then there was the long pause again once Seth had already made it to help Atlas with the cast, and then they had another pause, and the Atlas was like, I'm guessing it's sound. I'm guessing it's the sound issue again.
Oh, was that the one where Atlas had to do like the podcast by himself?
The solo cast, and then Achilles was like, I'm on the cab on the way to the studio to save you. And then before he got there, they were like, wait, we're postponing these games. And then everyone was tweeting him, turn back, turn the cab back, turn the cab
Stop
back.
now.
But then he got there, and then they were like, wait, no. So we're going to have this series right now. It was like past midnight.
Oh,
legends, the two of them. Absolute legends. I mean, it's not midnight yet, but I'm not.
We're close, I'll be
10:30.
honest. Yeah, we're pretty
10:30, yeah. Yeah, and they started later too. I think their game started at 3. So if you like adjust for the time.
Yeah, we're definitely past midnight.
Yeah, exactly. We're legends.
We started at
we're
1,
legends
so that's
hungry.
2 hours plus 2. Yeah, that makes it like 12.
I am so
right
glad
now.
I ordered food just now instead of waiting till the
Yeah.
cast was over.
I was like, okay, maybe it's over soon. And then it's
Maybe,
never over because
yeah,
of the pauses. I'm just like so hungry right now.
Same. Big
Hence
same.
the name. See, everyone asked, right? You guys, it's just right there. Just
Well
gotta
done.
look. Very
Well
straightforward.
done.
Very easy. Waiting for these technical issues to be resolved.
So I believe we heard from I was looking at production chat when I don't think I was supposed to. But earlier on in game number 2, so I think I saw a message that said if the pause goes longer than 15 minutes, then one side has to forfeit. The side with the who has called the pause due to it's just been way too long for the connectivity issues.
Right.
So I'm not sure if that still stands.
At FSL, we're very lenient with the pauses because we do understand that there is some issues sometimes. With I remember there was one tournament where like literally the whole LAN shop just had no power or something.
Wait, what?
I can't remember if this wasn't FSL. It was another tournament that we
Was
ran.
it?
Actually.
I
It was
hope
quite
they
hilarious.
weren't
Yeah.
sponsored by the LAN shop because that would have been the worst
I must have been-
advertising
I must have been.
ever for your LAN shop. If you're like, all right, we're
I
holding
can't
a
remember
LAN
who I was casting
tourney.
it with. Holy. It must have been either Grandin or Chufan.
Was
casting
that
this
the
with.
one that I think I was sick for?
Maybe. I don't remember.
Yeah,
But there
we're
was
not
like a
gonna
massive
name
delay,
the
right?
LAN
Yeah,
shop. We're not naming
It was
and
really
shaming
funny. I
the
was
LAN
like,
shop.
whoa.
I remember that competition. Yeah, fun times. What is the opposite of fun times? That's the one. That's the one. I meant.
Psych.
Psych. Psych.
The spamming 1. Historically,
in
whenever
the
they
chat.
spam 1 in chat, it means they're ready to go.
We're learning so much like Vietnamese gamer slang today.
Oh yeah.
Shut down.
I already knew that. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, there you go. See?
Hooray!
1 spam means game has begun and resumed. So.
Yeah, 1 is like the when you spam G like for go, go. Yeah, because
You might
sometimes
be onto something.
Because sometimes you spam like GG, and then if you don't know, it looks like you're saying GG, but you're really saying go. I think their 1 is for go.
Rick Harold?
Team fight right now. No, not yet. Just gonna Oh no, poor Shelly. I just hate watching that happen when all Shelly gets is one good charge off.
Still
onto
pretty
the
value though
tower.
for the team that used her.
Yeah, I mean, still pretty worth, but could be worth more.
Oh, final spark did find the Vigar there wandering off of the side. VG looking to start this fight up. The Phantom Undertow gonna stun up the Jarvan as the executes come through. Oh my goodness. That is a clean sweep on that fight. They find 2 members and they will get the dragon as well, and now they will be able to push in. I feel like I have this habit of saying VG, like VG.
Like VG Gaming.
But then I realized, yeah, it's a bad habit, right?
Yep, that happened to me earlier. I think you heard it as well. It was like a half a second pause, and then we moved on
Yeah,
from our gaff.
it's okay.
It's what we do when we're live.
It's technically not wrong.
We cover for each
Yeah.
other.
It's only wrong if you say VG Gaming.
Gaming,
yeah,
yeah, because
VG
we're like
is fine.
VGA.
Yeah. Oh,
Look
a
at
card.
us making excuses.
Kill him, kill him. Has the ult.
Get him
decided to
good. You're a golly, come on. You only know one way, and that's forward. Right now,
Oh,
Vega,
there you
very
go.
good zone. Oh, that was a bit of a late Chinese, I think. Going.
Oh, great wombo combo coming in. They actually turned the fight around. All the health bars extremely low now. They managed to get multiple shutdowns. I think it's 3 that went down in favor of EVOS Valkyrie.
Yep, really good play coming out from the side of EVOS Valkyrie. Coraline even makes it out of that one with the double buff as the Veigar. That's absolutely insane. Cooldown on that R just means that she's going to have it available for the next skirmish, and that's really the big ult that you do not want available on the side of EVOS.
There was a time where Rumble was like a tier 1 champion, like a couple of years back, and the #1 rule of playing against Rumble is never fight in the jungle because these choke points are so deadly, right?
Yep.
We saw right there an example of what would happen if you constantly stayed in the jungle against the Rumble and you get punished by the Equalizer.
Exactly. Right now, a bit of a, I think, reset coming out from both teams. Really just content to pick up some of their own jungle camps. Look like VGA want to race towards top side right here, set up some vision. We're about 18 minutes in. A couple of question mark pings. They're going to spot out the Zaya pretty soon. Kamiho by herself over the top side. Oh, gets hooked with the bone skewer.
Oh, not available. Oh, Chiri won't be able to dodge away from it.
Oh, so close. So much
Yeah.
damage coming out from this 4-1 and 4 Pike. We blinked and suddenly he's got Yomu's. What?
Not just Yomu's, but the Spectral Glaive as well. So
Yep.
that's 2 lethality items. Meanwhile, coming into the bot side for the gank. Oh, fancy feed from Leo dodging away. Killer T has to be very careful from their damage. Here comes the Equalizer, placed in a relatively awkward spot though, as Min comes in to help him out. Stopwatch being used. Leo now falling very, very low. Jarvan joining in as well. Flashing out is the Gragas to safety. Final Spark takes him down. Leo will die eventually to Min.
Yeah, I mean, Sin tried really hard with the Cataclysm. Actually managed to get 2 people. Did force the flash out from a Killer T there, but wasn't quite enough to secure the kill. And then teammate went down. So not really the best outcome, I think, for EVOS Valkyrie. Yeah, that was cute.
Right?
That was a cute play.
Throw him behind you and then dash away.
Psych.
Uh-oh. Sin
Fool me once.
setting the bait.
Oh.
At this point, you're like, I've committed so far, I don't even know what to do. I'm scared. Do I recall?
I can't walk out of this bush. Oh no.
Oh, man.
Oh no. Min could. Oh.
Okay, going for the knockup on the Akali, but remember the Shroud is available, so there is no way they can isolate her and get the kill.
Yeah.
Still, patience is a virtue, and Sin has
Patience.
demonstrated that she has a lot of it.
Yeah, but also sometimes patience doesn't always pay off. I think is the second big lesson.
Is that really?
I mean, in your
Oh,
experience
yeah,
of
fair enough.
the years you've lived on this planet, Hungry does it? All the
Nice.
I mean,
Welcome to my TED Talk.
thanks for coming to my TED Talk at what 11 p.m. on a Saturday night.
It's 10 p.m. in the US, so I think it qualifies.
Honestly, we were saying
10 a.m.,
about
sorry.
how Achilles and Atlas are legends for casting through the night for Kiss Back Up. I think all of our viewers at home right now who are still watching the stream.
Thumbs up, man.
It's been going on, what, 10 hours? 9.5 hours? By now, you guys are
Encroaching
the
on
real
10.
legends, man. Yep, 10 hours. 10-hour broadcast. Welcome to Southeast Asian League of Legends.
This reminds me of like
GPL
then-
5 years ago.
basically, right?
Where
Back
the
then-
pause timer goes down from 30 minutes to 0.
and then it goes red.
Yeah.
like, not supposed to
Yeah.
get to that point.
Uh-huh. But yet here we are.
Here we are.
Baron back again. Oh.
The wall was too thick, so you can't really pull him over. He ends up doing a little hop.
Yeah. Right now looks like EVOS wanna be setting up for the next dragon spawn. VGAR here with your little eye. Yes.
Yeah, Coraline is too low. There is no way she can partake in this fight with this health bar, especially because Lux has Final Spark up available. So if they can snipe off the Valkyrie, it actually makes it for a very, very bad fight for EVOS. So EVOS Valkyrie actually now have to back off. You can see there's full control now. Equalizer being put in an open space. Of course, everyone's going to back off in this. Very little impact from the ultimates coming through. EVOS Valkyrie has to back off here. Jumping in on the back line, Death from below, really not really getting anything but explosive cast is going to split the fight up. There's still 4 members of VG here, and Silka just walking forward, doesn't have a care in the world, auto-attacking away. Sure, he'll go down, but at what cost? Because everyone on the side of EVOS Valkyrie is just going to be decimated.
Disaster of an outcome for EVOS Valkyrie. Although in the midst of all that, Kamiho did manage to pick up the Cloud Elemental Dragon for the side of EVOS Valkyrie. But as you mentioned, at what cost?
You know, I'm going to take back like what I said, my praise for EVOS about them understanding fundamentals. Because when I spotted Coraline very low, I was like, okay, this is a bad idea already. They can snipe off the Valkyrie, right? And then they continue playing to that. I'm like, I don't know how this is going to go because I don't see a way where you win a fight in an open area unless they commit into the pit.
Yeah, and I mean, we've been sleeping on the fact that V-Gaming actually have a 9,000 gold lead this game right now over off of EVOS Valkyrie. A bit of a over-aggressive move to really try for the Baron. I mean, because you're only around 20 minutes in. Death timers were very short. They didn't quite have enough time after the ace to really shred the Baron fast enough, especially not with the sort of composition that they're running right now. Lux mid, Akali top. But yeah, they do back off. They don't lose anyone, and they have the 9,000 gold advantage.
Yeah, and a large portion of where that came from is from the Pike ultimate, of course, artificially creating gold. This is like, you know, if you're a bank, right? And everyone's like playing fair, you know, but Pike's like, no, I'm gonna print more money. Inflation. What is inflation? It doesn't matter. I'm just going to print money and then my team's going to come out a hit.
Exactly. There's no inflation in this game, only gold generation. It's only a win. And a win is definitely what V-Gaming are going to be hoping for. But the thing is, I mean, this might just be like Game 2 all over again when we saw V-Gaming get that 4,000 or 5,000 gold lead at around the 20-minute mark and then suddenly just make a bunch of mistakes and
I'm super scared about that, by the way.
Yeah, when we saw that at Baron and when we saw EVOS Gaming respawn and come back, I was like, oh my god, this is Game 2 all over again. No, please no.
Super worried when they'll do this sort of thing because every time they're hit, they still, instead of playing to their strengths, they just walk forward and try to find random picks like this, you know? There's no reason for you to be forcing a pick here. All you have to do is just walk down mid. Walk down mid with your strength and then find a kill. Or at least force them to reply to you.
Exactly. The thing is, because they are so far up ahead in gold, this is pretty much the we are so far up, it's silly kind of a gold lead where you can make mistakes in the team fight and still win because you are like one core item ahead on every single person. That's the amount of gold that like 8,000 gold advantage gives to you. And yeah, just don't make silly mistakes. There's no reason to keep going for those picks when you can just brute force the win at this point.
Could probably go back in, but deciding not to. Has to be careful about the ranges around this bot side because it doesn't have the teleport whereas Rumble does. So remember that Akali R doesn't have a mini stun on the first cast anymore, so she can't really deny the teleport. What she can do though is follow with the shuriken flip, which is why she has to be careful about her range. The moment Rumble teleports, you have to follow through. Otherwise, your team's going to be at a man disadvantage when the fight breaks out.
Yep, right now looks like both teams don't quite want to start Baron, really just want to be safe, clear out some vision. I think EVOS know that there's no way they can actually get into the Baron pit or the river. As you can see, Pike right now just water walking, just hanging out around the pit. Just going to clear out those red wards. Just VGA have the top side of Baron area entirely under control right now. Not even that, if you take a look at the minimap, pretty much all the wards on the map are blue.
Yeah, there's a good control vision on the bottom half, top and bottom half of the jungle rather. It's gotten to the point where Veigar has to go for early Banshee's Veil to sort of mitigate the engage potential of both Pike as well as Lux. If you eat a light binding, you lose, right? So the Banshee's Veil is
Mhm.
to stop that. If you eat a Bone Skewer, you lose as well. So
Exactly. Yeah, pretty much as we talked about in Picks and Bans, you get caught by 1 CC and then it's straight to gray screen for you.
this is the part where V Gaming are like a little lost. They don't know what to do, and textbook play would determine that you put the vision down, you control certain areas, and then you just walk in.
Keep
Walk
your
in the
lanes
mid lane and
pushed.
challenge them to fight you, because their composition only really works if they find a favorable engage. But you have vision on everywhere, they can't find flanks. They have to walk up for you. And if that case, you have more than enough tools in your belt to deflect the aggression and reset the fight with Gragas as well as Varus' ultimate.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of roaming from this Pyke right here. VGA once again with the faster
there you
setup.
go.
Oh, Chain of Corruption's going down, and that was what, 3 auto attacks, instantly blowing up SN on the J4. And Suga's just going to
Walk mid, just walk
go
mid.
straight into the Dragon Pit, pick up the Dragon and a couple of autos as well. And suddenly, VGA, I mean, we've been saying this for the last 10 minutes. They're so far ahead, they look so good, but yet hungry. There's this small part in the back of our minds that are like, but
The
it
weird
could all
part
go wrong.
is they have a 10k lead, but it
And
doesn't
yet-
feel like they have a 10k
Yep.
lead, you know? This is a mistake. Inside the pit, engaged by Rakan and Vigar will be disastrous, not to mention the Rumble as well, who thankfully doesn't have Equalizer, so it could be quite mitigated, but still, you have to be careful about how you look to escape from this pit.
EVOS coming in.
Yep. Jumping onto the Gragas, they're turning off the Baron, though an explosive cast will be used. They will find the kill onto the Vigar, death from below, not getting the Xayah, but she will be able to back out with Flash as well as Hugh. Now they're chasing down on top of her. The Bone Skewer will give the double kill over onto Min. Rumble's Equalizer being used and the Cataclysm as well. That is an extremely deluxe, but the rest of VG are walking in. V Gaming now looking to close down onto the members trying to escape here. Bone Skewer will pull her in, and that's all she wrote for Jun.
Yeah, and that's the sort of lead that we were talking about earlier, where you're so far ahead in gold. It's pretty much a stupid lead at this point. You can't afford to make those fights that we just saw. Not the cleanest, kind of a bit messy, if we're
Extremely
being
messy,
honest.
yeah.
So messy. Team fight, just mistakes made, especially on the side of V Gaming. But the fact that they're so far ahead in gold, those mistakes don't matter. They can afford to be that aggressive and still win. Like, look right here as well. Kind of over-aggressive, but just look how much damage that Bone Skewer alone, plus that Hugh nearly picks up the kill on the Rakan. If they didn't have the sort of 10,000 gold lead, that would have been 3 members on the side of VGA dead for sure. But because they're so far ahead, they're not getting punished for it.
Alternatively, they could have just focused on an inhibitor and gotten themselves a bit more added real estate in the enemy's base. So it's, maybe they're just trying to have fun at this point. They know that they're far enough
Oh,
ahead.
we've seen them have so much fun today. We don't need to see them have more. I sound like a killjoy. But after that game too, I mean, we're all a bit apprehensive here on this
I am
dance.
extreme. Like, I don't want to believe at all. You know, I'm nowhere near believing. Like, even when they were taking the barrel, I was like, this can all go wrong in 1 second.
Or in like 4 minutes.
Yeah.
A series of unfortunate events would be the name of that 4-minute little short.
It's like they walk in, Veigar baby cage, the Equalizer, and then you just lose everything in that fight. Seen it happen before.
Moments later. That means
It's like, eh? Oh, did? Nani?
oh, there. What? Wait, when? Yeah. It's been such a long day. We've seen it all, I think, at this point.
Okay, finally picking up the Leandries, now moving towards what appears to be the Rylai's. So, should have been the build choice at first. I don't know why she went for the Proto Belt. It's such an odd option. Especially because you wanted your 1-item spike earlier to contest all these objectives. Pushing in now. I can see the vision trying to be cleared out from both sides. Taking all the blue buff will be donated over to mid. Taking stock of the items, finally completing 2 core items. Journeying into the jungle might be in a bit of trouble here. We see a lot of people colliding. But the wards will be spotted out, and the Spectral Glaive should be enough to get the vision cleared out. Multiple pings actually being put down to the Baron right now.
I'm scared, hungry. Bit of a lull, I think. Right now, as you see, V Gaming, just as you mentioned, just not the surest in terms of knowing how to close out the game. And
Group 5,
yep,
walk mid.
push mid, group 5, walk down mid, show them who's got the 12k gold lead, because it's you. But EVOS Valkyrie doing as much as they can really to try and come back into this one. Things do look kind of bleak. They do have a lead, a CS lead over on Veigar. And as the game progresses, I mean, Veigar's only going to scale more and more. So there is that on their side.
Like, if you walk down, you have enough vision cover right now, right? You put the wards down, you just walk down mid lane and ensure no one can flank you. I don't understand why they're so apprehensive. Finally, they're grouping up, they're walking in, but really? Come on. Oh, there you go, finally finding the pick onto the Veigar, using the stopwatch to keep herself alive. Meanwhile, on the backline, getting isolated is Varus, but they already got the kill on the Veigar, and they will find a second kill on top of Rakan, and the third one might just be the Xayah here, ladies and gentlemen. Jumping back in, though, they're driving with the Goomba stop. Will get the shutdown on top of Akali, but they'll probably pay for it with his life right here. Flagging and dragging in one more time. Goes golden for a second longer and will eventually die, so there are only 2 members left. They have to retreat here. Feathers being pulled back. It's going to be the Xayah and Rumble. And at this point, just push mid. Don't even look towards Baron because you don't have enough tankiness or health. Stop fishing. Just walk mid.
Yeah, you can see Silka just making the executive decision, putting those pings down on the mid side inhibitor as well as the bottom side tower. But man, that was such a messy fight coming out from VGA. If they were, we've said this so many times, but if they weren't that far ahead, that would have been a lost team fight for them for sure. EVOS Valkyrie would have creamed them, turned the game on its head, but Rumble also gonna come out to clear the wave. So VGA don't have time to pick up the bot side inhibitor tower as well, but they do pick up the mid inhibitor. So they are going to have the super minions spawning in a bit to help them push mid. They do have priority in every single lane right now. At this point, VGA, they cannot lose, but somehow, somehow,
don't say that.
Save me, hungry.
I feel like they're gonna be looking towards Baron soon. This is like the natural instinct of a team that's this far ahead. They're like, oh, well, if we take Baron, we can close out the game.
Thank God. I thought you were going to say, I think that they're going to throw the game now. Really thought, genuinely thought that that was how that was.
Here's the caveat. You can start Baron, but there is still a Rumble, Rakan, Jarvan, and Veigar on the other side.
Good God.
It's a small
Literally,
enclosed area.
10 seconds ago, you were just saying, don't say it, don't curse us. Don't say it.
I feel it in my bones, Rirachu.
No.
They're going for the Baron.
No, it's going to be like a 25 minutes for EVOS to turn this one around.
Oh, Bone Skewer not landing on the
Goes
Rakan.
wide. Yep, now it's the setup for the next Baron spawn. And we're swiftly approaching full builds.
I don't know what you're talking about, man. Pike was full build like 5 minutes ago. Throwing money at people like, take my money. Take these doubloons.
77 CS as a support while the game is still going on is pretty sick. Oh look, 78. He KS'd another minion.
Oh, still fishing here. Actually, I think they want to go for this fight, using the Grand Entrance to get out. Not really able to one-shot The Gragas, though, this is a bit of issue. Goomba Storm was dodged away from, now going back in. They're looking to finally try and kill off the Gragas, and they will be able to do so. Killer T is the first to fall now on the back. There's one more member that should die here. It's going to be the Pike, a shutdown going the way of Kamiho. And I told you I didn't want to jinx it, Reirachu, but guess what? They were looking around the Baron and they were punished for it. Equalizer coming through, all eyes on the Akali, looking to clean up. She will get 2 though.
Oh,
Can they
this
get
would
3
be
and 4?
an easy penta. They were all
Blind him up,
right.
sinking him.
Just setting up the triple kill for the Akali with
No,
the
wrong way,
GA.
buddy, no!
Oh, lands was slow though. Gets the backwards mobility into the wall. J4 no mana. Winian.
Sniped!
Oh,
That
that's
cooldown though.
nice.
That cooldown.
And I think
gaming?
that I think the VGA might just have done it after that fight.
I'm not gonna believe until
I
the
know,
Nexus falls.
I know.
I don't believe.
The two of us are like, we can literally see the Nexus towers going down, but we're like, and
I don't know, man. I don't know, man, okay. I don't know, man.
What a wild
I've been lied to too many
ride
times.
Today was what a wild ride the finals were, but man, huge props to VGA for really closing out that game at number 3. And with that 2-1 victory, it means that VGA are going to be the Vietnamese representatives, representing the entire Vietnamese server in this season's FSL League of Legends Elite held in Singapore in March.
3 circuits, 3 different representatives.
Ooh.
All
That
the
is
past
true.
representatives getting locked out as well. Wow, this is the change is coming. Do you feel it? It's in the air.
In the wind.
In the wind, yeah.
Mhm.
Before we close out, I'd like to give a shout out to our sponsors, Dreamcore, for providing the PCs. Super solid for the monitors that we're looking at right now in front of us. Yahoo TV for restreaming and helping us promote the stream, as well as Aftershock for providing gaming laptops. And I think, Rirachu, you do have some social media stuff to put out. I unfortunately am a hermit, so I don't have anything out there.
Shout out to your socials. I mean, guys, you guys are watching on either Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube. I mean, of course, do follow the FSL League of Legends, FSL GG as well. I think is their Instagram as well as their Facebook. If you guys are following the pages, and of course, I mean, Daryl. HungryCast.
I literally
He's
only have
being
one
shy.
Twitter,
He
that's all.
also
I don't
has
update it. It's usually
social
Mimi.
media. But I mean, you can find us on our social medias. I think our cast IDs are on the screen, and I'm pretty much Reirachu on like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, in game as well.
Oh, reminder though that we will not have matches next week. Instead, we will be having a break. And on the 18th of January, I believe, is going to be the Thailand qualifiers for FSL. So do stay tuned for that. And of course, like Jenny said, for all further information, do check out the FSL page for updates. And with that, we will be closing out. Thank you so much for sticking through the broadcast. I know a lot of you have managed to make it through to the end. It's about 11, close to 11 p.m. GMT plus 8 here. So it's been a long day. We will be closing out. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.